NBC Sports Radio AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
And we're broadcasting live today, Saturday, August 5th, from the Moon Saloon, 16554 North 83rd Avenue here in Peoria. Greg alongside Dave and, of course, Eric, and real hockey talk. And then we'll have Rick, the Phoenix hockey guru from Boston, joining us in Las Vegas right now. So he's from the Vegas Knights, Golden Knights team shop, I believe, right now, where he'll be calling. Yeah, so
whatever it's called.
When we were there, I really wanted to go in. The only issue is there was like a 3-hour wait because of all the excitement.
Just
there.
to get into the pro shop.
Yeah. Now, granted, it was after the NHL awards, but still,
the line
it was
huge.
amazing. And so next time, I definitely want to get in there. You can get stuff online, obviously. Even here behind the mask down the street from us has, Vegas gear if you want a hat, shirt, stuff like that. But it would be cool, though, to get in there. So
this is an attraction now.
It is.
Ever since the Dallas Cowboys decided to turn their stadium into an amusement park,
right?
Everybody can. It's an experience just to go into the team stores and.
Well, the thing is, Las Vegas is a built-in experience. I mean, they got almost everything there. Things maybe you don't want to even hear about.
Yeah.
However, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Sometimes.
But it is a really, it's a cool setup. When we went to the award ceremony a few months ago, we were at the Monte Carlo, and the arena is virtually like a 4-minute walk from the Monte Carlo, also from New York. So, I mean, I think that increased, I'm guessing, the values of those two hotels. I think I guessed on that one. What did I say, hotels? Or
you said hotels is what I heard.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Hotel Casino.
Yeah, but if you take off the H-O and add an H. Okay. Anyway, I'm not going to explain what I did.
A triple word score on that?
Yeah, it's like a crossword puzzle. But it's amazing. I'm sure the values of those hotels went up because of the proximity of the arena, which is a great arena, by the way. I mean, you virtually go down the elevator and you walk over 4 minutes and you're there. It's incredible.
Yeah,
really
I was just so amazed how they were able to do that because the first time going there, I'm like, I hear all these great things about T-Mobile Arena and everything, and not only the arena inside, but the vicinity, just how they were able to put it together. It's not too clustered. And sure enough, everyone was right on. I mean, Monte Carlo right across the street, Excalibur, New York. But even if you're on the end of the strip, like where Stratosphere Circus is, not that I would recommend staying at those hotels, but, you just... you can walk over there, but it's not a long, ride over. And
you said circus, the end of the strip.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the thing. The way they did it is nice. So you could stay anywhere.
Really nice.
I was curious myself to see how it was set up. I didn't know a couple weeks ago, and I hopped on the Google Maps pedestrian view.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I took a virtual walk from the corner of, I think it's Tropicana and the Strip, right to the stadium just by clicking over.
Right there.
It's right there from between the Strip and the freeway, right?
Yeah. And I think you have what's that other hotel across MGM across the street?
There.
It's really a fantastic. I think the NHL did a great job, really, picking that place, building that amazing arena.
Oh, they did.
I think they've already sold 14,000 tickets, I believe.
They're going to do amazing because
I think so.
I think the people that are in Vegas living there, they're dying for a pro team. They got that, and then the fact of the other teams coming in, their fan base goes, okay, this is now the right time to go to Vegas. Take our trip there. Watch their team play. Yeah,
guilty as charged.
When
myself.
the Hawks go there, you'll be over there.
Well,
right?
it's on my calendar as
is
potential
that right?
time to go. Absolutely.
Oh, nice.
Unfortunately, I am a Chicago Blackhawks fan. Unfortunately, it coincides with their game here by a couple of days.
Oh, that's right.
if I make the trip, I might have to miss the game here.
Well, it might be worth it that one time. You
exactly.
got to check out the new arena there, and it's interesting how that will be, and even just preseason wise, before the arena was built, and when I had been up there, for Frozen Fury years ago, where the Kings and Avalanche normally would play preseason game, and it's just exciting. Now, LA's close there, so a lot of King fans up there, but even a lot of the locals, everyone living in Vegas was pumped, and you could just tell at the NHL awards and just around the city when we were there, just the excitement level. Everyone's ready, even more excited than getting their football team in a couple of years.
Wow.
I think because they like it's not overly clustered, anything like that. I mean, when you say Vegas, you could say, well, there'll always be your crowds and stuff like that, but it's crazy in a good way, I think.
I agree.
So and it's new.
Yeah.
It's new. The football team that's coming is not a new team.
Yeah.
So there's a certain amount of shininess.
Raiders. Yeah.
And I think that's the other reason some people we talked to were kind of like, even though they were big football fans, like, well, it's the Raiders. And like you said, Eric, starting out new with the Golden Knights. And just, I think there's a worry is that maybe the stereotype, behind the Raider fans, a really kind of tough group. And I think some people living there are worried, like, now this crazy stuff. And I'm like, I don't know about that, but we'll see a few years down the line. Yeah.
I've actually got a family that lives in St. Louis, and many of them were never Rams fans for that same reason. They didn't feel like the Rams were their team. My nephew, who's 10 years old, grew up with the Rams in St. Louis. He was a Rams fan. But the people my age in their late 20s and 30s,
they didn't think so.
They were minimally Rams fans, probably for that same reason. They were an adopted team that it takes a generation to grow on you.
Oh, yeah. Well, Rick, what are your thoughts out there? Are you at the team shop right now?
Rick. Where's Rick?
Hello, Rick. Have to wait 3 hours.
I'm in Boston. Oh, there you are. Hey, now I hear you.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
We can hear you. You're at the pro shop, I bet, at Golden Knights.
Called the Armory. We drove up to Vegas yesterday to have a little quick weekend of fun and some concerts, and went over to the pro shop. Called the Armory. Beautiful merchandising. They've got the Golden Knight in the doorway when you walk in. They've got logos, excellent apparel, merchandising, all sizes, colors, and the vibe up here is pretty amazing. It's captured the community. There's people come in. I was watching people come in. There was actually somebody from Australia buying logoed material yesterday to take back with them.
Wow.
So they've done an amazing job. And this whole complex here, as you said, talking about Monte Carlo and New York. Well, MGM owns all this, and they're the entertainment experts. So they did everything right from not just the proximity of the hotel Monte Carlo, which they own, which was doing well anyways, and is in the midst of a redo. They're doing it in stages. It's just from the atrium in front of the building. I'm looking into the front of T-Mobile Arena here. They've just done a rock-solid job, and they've engaged the community in doing it. And lessons learned for a lot of other teams how to do it. I mean, they're capturing it perfectly.
Now, you said MGM. What's their
MGM?
role?
Well, MGM owns the Monte Carlo. Of course, obviously they
Right.
own MGM. They own New York. They own T-Mobile Arena. This is all their building. This is all their property. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So they own the arena. I didn't.
Yes.
I thought the owner of the team owned the arena, but
No,
I guess
no.
not.
It's AEG had helped kind of build it.
Gotcha.
Right.
Well, that's smart because they just increased the values of their hotels having that arena so close to those three properties.
Yeah, and it's not just hockey, obviously. I mean, they've had basketball in here. They've got a logo. It's the home of UFC. If you're into that, they understand how to market. They understand how to entertain, and it's a perfect situation for the Golden Knights.
There's no doubt about it. Hopefully, they'll get indoor football team. They've had that before. I'm not sure it's coming back.
I guess they did,
Yeah, but who knows? Maybe not. But, yeah, that's a phenomenal arena. How do you like the Monte Carlo? It's not too bad, is it?
No, we've stayed here many times before, so the Monte Carlo is very convenient. It doesn't have access from the Strip. There's only a restaurant on the Strip side, so you do have to come in from one of the side streets. But that's actually better in a lot of ways because it's easier to get in and out. But it's fine, and like I said, they're doing a renovation in the Monte Carlo with restaurants theme, and it will have a name change. It will no longer be called the Monte Carlo at some point. It's if you see the front of the building where Cher is performing tonight, it's called the Park Theater, and I think they're calling it MGM Park is going to be the name. So the Monte Carlo name is going to be no more. So it's going to be called MGM Park. Yeah.
Well, that's sort of cool. Hey, go ahead.
I just wanted to mention real quick that within the last hour, Vegas has a little news out there with Nate Schmidt being awarded by the arbitrator a 2-year deal worth average of $2.25 million per year. I think if I remember correctly, Rick, we're both pretty high on Nate Schmidt, and your thoughts on that?
He was the best defenseman in the Capitals in the postseason. He was the fastest guy. He has the best speed. He's got footwork, and it's all going to participate into the deterioration of the Washington Capitals. And I can see Nate Schmidt being a captain here down the road if he stays. He's that type of player.
Yeah. Now the big question is, did you go to the buffet at the Monte Carlo?
Did not go to the buffet at the Monte Carlo. We went over to Harrah's, and we ate at Ruth Chris Steakhouse. And that was yesterday. Fancy. And this evening we're eating at it's the Italian the Vino at the Monte Carlo before the Cher show at 8 p.m. this evening.
Nice.
The Cher show. Say the Cher show 3 times.
Yep, this will be our third. She opened here. This will be her third show on her. She's here in August, and then she's coming back here in November. In this Park Theater in front of the Monte Carlo. That's all brand new. So it's a destination. Yeah, Bruno Mars is coming here the first week of September, and I know that's already sold out. They're doing things right here, and in 31 days, I think on or about September 12th, the Golden Knights rookie team will be playing the LA Kings rookies. So there's something
really?
for you too. Yes. Well, camp opens shortly. I know Bruins report September 7th. We're within that 35-day window here where teams are going to start reporting.
Wow. Excellent. So should we do What Did I Learn This Week?
That sounds good to me.
Yeah. Well, let's remind everyone, of course, we're at the Moon Saloon at 16554 North 83rd Avenue in Peoria. Come on down. Great place, by the way. TV's rolling everywhere. Baseball, soccer, no soap operas, but baseball.
If you want to
soccer.
Rewatch the Cardinals, Cowboys.
Oh, yeah, you got football.
Already
you got a bunch of stuff going on here.
From earlier this week.
Yeah, really cool place.
Yeah.
I really like this place. So, what did we learn this week? Who wants to go first?
Why don't you guys go first? I got to take a step away real quick.
Okay.
I will volunteer if you don't mind.
All right, so Rick, what do you got?
Seeing that I'm remote, what did I learn? Well, this is going to be on the theme of fantastic marketing and community development and the way to spark interest in your hockey team. Obviously, I'm here in Las Vegas, and there's going to be similar things going on, but I'm going to flip over to the Nashville Predators and the organization downtown. As you know, that building right there, Bridgestone Arena, is right in downtown Nashville. Nashville has the same vibe here called Smashville. Well, Nashville's a country music center of the world. And budding artists from all over the United States, North America, and the world, frankly, migrate to Nashville. They get jobs in coffee shops, waiters, bartenders, trying to perform, trying to make it and get that big hit. So what the Nashville Predators are doing is, you know, they've had national anthem sung by various country music stars during the playoffs, and that in itself was fantastic. Well, they've got what they've done is anyone can submit a video and audio tape of a budding country star, a budding songwriter, submit it to the Nashville Predators, and what they're going to do is they're going to whittle it down to 10 finalists.
Wow.
They will perform live in front of the organization. Then they'll take the best 4, and each one of those 4 will sing the national anthem at one of the preseason games. And then the winner of that last 4 will, during the year, during selective home games, come in more than once and sing the national anthem. I think that's pretty cool. So
I think so.
Yeah, it's smart. If you read Mike Fisher's retirement letter that he read to the city of Nashville when he posted it on the publication, it was amazing the sincerity in his words on what that community and the fan base meant to the Predators and Mike Fisher during the playoffs. All the guys could talk about was not just the pressure and the, hey, we're here, we're in the playoffs, but it was all about the fans, the fan support, the vibrancy. That's what they took away. And, not to beat a dead horse, there's no reason why the city of Phoenix cannot do similar things for our own organization, our own team, to get the fan base going. So if Nashville can do it, if Las Vegas, why can't we?
Well, I think, as you know, we're going to do some studies on organizational excellence, and I think it takes organizational excellence.
Well, it could change now. I mean, a little more stability. But, I mean, with the Coyotes, of course, with Patrick Lauder, great anthem singer. And, I don't think exclusive anymore. They have some other singers come out, but, he's always great to hear. And then, of course, Eric with Chicago. You have, Jim Cornelius, I believe?
Yeah, Jim Cornelius.
Yeah. Amazing and stuff. But that would be a good idea, though, especially here to have, something like that. Because they do have other singers sometimes here, and there's other singers I've known of that are getting pretty high up there already, sort of up there, and for some reason the Coyotes the marketing team didn't really get back to them. Surprisingly,
Greg, if I can make a add on here, and it's not just about singing the national anthem. That's a piece of a large puzzle. Here's something right now that Las Vegas Golden Knights have done for the last 7 or 10 days here. Their 2 goalies are Marc-Andre Fleury and Calvin Pickett, who's actually a pretty good pick. They took him from Colorado.
Yeah.
They've been very active on Twitter and in their marketplace right here of actively showing everybody what their goalie masks and the logos are going to look like. So Marc-Andre Fleury did his first, and you can go on Twitter, see it. It's beautiful. It's basically all Las Vegas, and the imagery right there on his mask on both sides. What they did with Calvin Pickard is he reached out to the Las Vegas fan base and asked them to do designs, and he would choose one of those. Once again, just simple marketing 101, and I've seen some of the works come in, and it's amazing. Someone's had obviously access to some pretty good software tools, and they've got the Rat Pack on one side, they've got the the Skyline, just smart, reaching out to the community. I mean, you can't say enough about that.
That's how you engage them. Yeah.
Yes.
I agree. Yeah, you engage the people and the fans, the wannabe fans, the no fans. Oh, what's that? Eric has a picture. Oh, that is awesome.
One of the helmets. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
you like that,
cool.
huh?
Helmet. Yeah.
I do like it. I'm glad you brought that up. But I agree with you. Every organization, some can do it and some can't. And let's hope.
Well, with the thing, like with the Coyotes now, is with the ownership situation now the way it is, I think that stuff should be better now because there might be more of a budget towards doing stuff like that. Maybe some hiring, maybe different people in the right positions with that. And in some ways, there has been good. And with development, it looks good because, building the new rink at El Mirage, a lot of the outdoor type stuff when the weather is better. And so, like we saw with Vegas when Marc-Andre Fleury, right after he's drafted, like the very next day, doing
right
ball hockey. Yeah, they do have that here in groups.
Yeah.
And so that is getting better and has. So, there is good stuff, but I agree. I mean, there are other ways I think they could really market out here to really grab hold of maybe a casual fan or maybe someone that I haven't been to a game, but wow, this looks like a good show. And once you go, then you get hooked.
I would agree.
The mask idea is brilliant because if there's one thing that I remember as a kid, as I was becoming a fan, was Eddie Belfour's Eagle mask. And that's a way to grab the younger fans. This is and even casual fans. The goalie mask. It seems like an inane thing to an insider, but
it's huge.
It's a way to grab those casual fans very very simply because it is one of the few parts of a uniform in any professional league that is personalized and customized and can get people talking.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's a good point. So. So who? Wait. We only have about 3 minutes. Who has a short? What did I learn?
Well, see, I never know what I learned.
I have
a long
one.
Attention. Yeah, so we could.
And the break's coming up.
Yeah, so you don't want to do your long one, Eric? Anything to add there?
I learned something. I learned something small about USA Hockey.
Oh, okay.
Tony Granato. Will become the head coach.
Yep.
One of Chicago's own, and
the
second best player in his own family, from what I read.
Cammy.
Cammy is pretty good.
He was good.
I don't want to make any insults, but
Granato was a great hockey player, though. I thought.
Oh yeah, both. Yeah,
both Cammy and Tony.
Obviously.
Really good.
And so the what I learned was that the direction, obviously, since there are no NHL players or AHL players, I believe, he's got, just similar to what we talked about last week, there are several UFAs who are older players potentially who may be brought on. And his coaching staff is a lot of the same guys that he played with in the 88.
Well, Chelios will be there.
Scott Young is involved, and that's a name I haven't heard in many years.
I haven't heard for a while either.
Scott Young. But, coming up here on a break here shortly, and so we'll get into mine and then Dave's. What did you learn? I'll have to find something over the break.
Oh, I think you find it.
And we could get that,
But I believe, I might be wrong, I think the AHL players can participate in the Olympics. It's just
they
NHL.
Can. They can.
Oh, okay.
I think I read that, but, I don't know what's going to happen there.
It'll be interesting. We're broadcasting today from the Moon Saloon at 16554 North 83rd Avenue. We're here till 3, so come on out and hang out with us. This is Real Hockey Talk on NBC Sports Radio AM 1060. We'll see you in a little bit.
Hey, this is Andy Dorff. Check out my show, Dorff on Sports, from 9 to 11 a.m. Monday through Friday, right here in the Valley of the Sun on NBC Sports Radio AM 1060.
And we're back here at the Moon Saloon, 16554 North 83rd Avenue here in Peoria, the P83 district. Real Hockey Talk, NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060. Greg, Eric, and Dave here, and we and Rick, of course, from the Vegas Golden Knights team shop there at the T-Mobile Arena. So he's having a lot of fun there. He's going to see Cher tonight. He had Ruth's Steakhouse the other night. Ruth Chris.
Ruth Chris.
Yeah, there you go. And
bone-in filet.
Making me really hungry. But we got some good food coming out here soon at Moon Saloon. A lot of good stuff here.
But probably $75 a steak, right, Rick?
Yeah, but who's? I mean, I just sent you the bill. That's all.
That was my question.
That's what I was wondering.
Paying for all this, huh?
Yeah.
That's going to
Wow.
Or donate to the great charity.
It's like Kramer in the Seinfeld episode. It's a write-off. You don't even know what a write-off is. I don't, but they do, and they're the ones writing it off.
Well, that should be interesting.
Well, the views expressed on this program are not necessarily those.
Yeah, we don't have a CPA on here.
Yeah.
No.
And so...
Also an NBC show, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
The Seinfeld show.
That's true.
Oh,
Yes.
Great
Yes.
reference, Rick.
I'm keeping it in the family,
right.
Eric.
There
Thanks
you
for
go.
pointing that out.
that's a good point.
Yeah. Going back, we heard Rick and Eric, what they learned. And so, Dave, you have a long one. Why don't you go first while I see what's gone on this week in the world?
Well, this is what did we all learn, because it's going to be in the form of a trivia pursuit type of question.
I love it.
Here we go.
Last week was trivia.
And it
like-
was.
this is-
This, I think it engages people more. So the first organized indoor hockey game was played what date and where?
Oh, man. I'd say in the 1800s.
Yes, it is in the 1800s.
Was it France?
It was not in France, but what do you got, Rick and Eric?
I know
Was
that it was.
in England, Scotland?
No, but what's the date?
1864.
Okay, 64. Do I hear more than 64? 64 going on?
Let's see.
Dave
was
was there, so it's easy
The Battle
for
of
him.
Antietam was going on then, so I can't
Yeah,
remember.
was it?
hockey
No,
being
wow,
played
I should have
indoors.
used that question.
Nova Scotia?
What year was The Revenant? What year did that occur?
Oh, the movie?
The movie.
That was last year.
Yes, but it was a historical drama.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
when
that's
that
around the
was.
Lewis and Clark years, so that's what, 1780s?
They were up there in
Well, that's a
the.
little bit too
Montana.
early. Well, here it
We're
is.
in the 1800s,
You guys-
1864.
I'm gonna go
64.
18. Let's see. It's got to be post Civil War. 1888.
Okay, 64,
for
88.
symmetry.
Rick, what year?
I'm no mas. I'm gonna go. I have no idea.
Okay,
I'd be
1875.
Oh, hey
Okay.
now.
So who got it? What did you say?
1888.
That's 13. You had 64.
11.
Oh,
Plus you went over.
See,
According
here's
to
the
Bob Barker, that's
I
not...
Oh.
could not disagree with that rule more. That if you go over
Yeah,
by one,
I
you
agree with
lose. When
Yeah, that's true.
Was
So I
Montre-
appreciate that. I
Is
was-
Montreal's Victoria skating rink? Okay, it'll get better from here on out. Who
Will it?
is
Oh, there's more.
what Hall of Fame player is credited with the creation of the curved stick blade around 1960?
Bobby Hull.
Bobby Hall.
Okay, who do I hear? Who
We
said
both
what?
said it.
Bobby Hull.
Rick. Okay.
I said, yeah, the same thing.
And what do you say? Chicago
I-
Blackhawks.
I could be very far off, but Rocket Richard was the only name that popped into my head.
Okay, is
But
Stan
he was-
Mikita.
Oh, so another Hawk.
Yeah, but Andy Bathgate back in the 30s and 40s, they think may have had a curved stick, so we don't know. When
We
was the
have a-
National Hockey League founded? What date?
1916?
Oh,
yeah, this
my.
was the 100
Okay.
year. This
What
was
it-
the 100 years.
Yeah,
what do you
anniversary.
say?
So it was sometime in 1916. Let's go
we
with.
got-
let's
Do we
go
need
with,
the exact day?
June 16, 1916. 16.
Yeah, June actually sounds good. I'll just go with July 19th of
Okay.
1916.
And
yeah.
Rick?
It's,
Oh, I know it's 100 years, so I'm going to just go back 100 years from now. That's around that time frame. I'm a little
So you're
distracted
saying
here because
16?
USA Juniors,
You see Cher?
they have the TV on here watching playing Finland. So
Oh,
that's fun.
gotcha.
Is
No,
that-
actually, November 22nd, 1917. You guys are very close.
It isn't even 100 years yet then.
Well, they
Yeah,
count it as that.
yeah,
Okay.
that's-
Who's won the most, this should be easy, the most Stanley Cups in league history, and how many?
Montreal 24.
Montreal 20-something.
22.
Yeah.
I hear 24-22. This could be it.
23.
Yes, it is 23.
I had
1-0. Eric takes the lead. What's the diameter of a hockey puck?
Oh, man, we wouldn't know this. Come
How
on.
many
Of course
What
you
you
know.
learns do we have here, Dave?
Yeah.
I'll go
Are
faster.
you taking over for mine?
Yeah, no.
Di- Diameter of a hockey puck is 3 inches.
Okay, do I hear more than 3, less than 3?
3. 3, yeah.
It's bigger than the president's
All right.
hands.
I almost brought my my Chicago Stadium NHL All-Star Game puck with me today.
So you know it is 3 inches. Okay, so it's still 2, 1, 1. All right, the fastest. Then I think you guys will get this. The fastest slap shot on record. Is who? And if you get a bonus if you know how fast.
I got one.
Either Chara, Chris Pronger, or Ally Afraidy.
Okay, incorrect. Okay, and
good
Eric?
guesses, though. You got to give me that.
They were really good guesses.
It was 107, I think.
And 107?
But who was it?
I lost the name. I had the name, and I lost the name.
He did it in the American Hockey League, and I think he played on the Sharks for a while, but I can't think of...
When you say it...
He had a very famous son.
Al McInnes.
No, that is incorrect. Bobby Hull, 118 miles per hour. 2-1-1 still. Okay, here's a good one.
But I question the technology when they...
That's true.
Yeah,
Bobby
of course.
We got a challenge here.
They had a challenge. They had a sparrow flying next to it, and that's how they measured it.
Exactly.
Like Randy Johnson throwing a pitch and hitting a bird. Yeah.
Oh, that poor bird.
That was poor ball. Are you kidding me?
Too soon, Dave. Too soon.
You're right.
Yeah.
Now, I think you're going to get this. Since 1914, the Stanley Cup has been awarded in every year, but 2 years it wasn't awarded. Name those years, and if you can, with a bonus, why wasn't it awarded in 2 years since 1914?
World War
II.
Okay, I hear World War II.
1942.
43 and 44.
43, 44.
Well, 2005.
Yes.
Because the year-long lockout.
And then one year in World War II.
Is that your final answer?
Well, Rick and Dave were alive during World War II, so that's not fair.
Actually not. But we were alive in 1919 when the Canadians were stricken with sickness during the Spanish flu pandemic.
Wow, I thought we were going to go Black Friday and market collapse.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
1919, but not
so those
Spanish flu.
And that was the year where the White Sox had their 8-men-out thing, right?
Oh, was it? I think you're right.
And thank you for bringing that up.
Now, I think someone's going to get this.
Yeah.
It's still 2-1-1. Eric's in the lead.
I got 2.
And I think you're going to get this. Who holds the most points in a single game and how many? I think you get this.
I think I know.
What is it?
Daryl Sutter?
Yes.
10.
Oh, my God.
No, Sittler. Daryl Sittler.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
yes.
It's an entirely different person.
I got excited.
I was saying Sutter, and I'm like, it's not Sutter. But
no, it's Sittler.
Sittler.
So is that?
Sittler. You have to make sure we pronounce that correctly.
Did anyone get, Rick, did you get that one?
Well, I know he did it against the Bruins. Is that true?
Yeah, he was on Toronto.
All right, so I guess I get a point. It's 2-2-2.
Can we talk about 10 points in a single game?
Amazing.
4 goals and 6.
And what was the breakdown? How many goals? How many goals?
Rick just said. What did you say, Rick?
6 and
goals?
4.
No, 5 and 5.
5 and 5.
Yeah.
Remember when Sam Gagne got 8 points in the game when he was an Oiler against the Blackhawks, but it was amazing that the flashes of brilliance that he had showed.
Well, I think the next one it's all tied, right? 2-2-2.
Yeah.
Wayne Gretzky holds how many NHL records? I think you may get this.
It used to be 61. I don't know if it still is.
What's your final answer?
Official records that are kept by the league?
Yeah.
I'll say 59.
59?
I don't know. 99.
99? Rick?
You know what? I have no clue. I'm going to say 47.
All right, too bad you didn't stick with 61. It's still 2-2. Okay. Okay, I think Rick will appreciate this. Who's the first NHL player to record 100 points in a season?
100 points in a season.
Esposito.
Would be,
Phil Esposito.
Bobby Orr.
I won't say Bobby Orr, Esposito.
One of those two.
Mike Bossy.
Okay, Esposito. No. Greg takes the lead 3-2-2.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's a few more. Here's one. Why are hockey pucks frozen prior to the game? It's sort of an interesting
because
one.
the game started in Canada and they didn't have a choice.
That's a great answer. Wrong.
Oh,
okay.
I know this. We talked about it recently.
Rick, what is
well,
it?
it's
I forgot,
vulcanized
though.
rubber, and it has to be kept for consistency. But I'm sure
But what's
there's
the
some
to
other
prevent
inane
them
reason you're going
from
to tell us.
Splitting.
no?
Breaking.
From bouncing around?
Yes!
Bouncing.
He takes an
Oh.
overwhelming lead, 4-2-2.
Oh.
You guys got to catch up.
Well, how many more questions
The
are
host
there?
of this show knows his hockey.
Yeah, well, how many more questions?
Well, okay, just a few more.
Keep going, because I still don't know what I learned.
4-2-2. The last player in NHL to play without a helmet was
Craig McTavish.
Is that okay?
McTavish.
He what do you got?
Doug
McTavish.
Wilson.
And
That's
okay,
the only one I remember.
so now it's 5-3-2.
And Rick got it. Yeah.
Wow, you were winning. All right, but we'll get you back.
I was, but
Okay, how about this? The NHL record for most goals in a game. Who did it? Most goals in a game.
Daryl
No one's
Sittler had 6.
No, he had 5.
how many did Daryl Sutter have?
He might have had a
For
hat
those-
trick here or there.
Probably.
Was it
No.
Lemieux?
No, Joe Malone. No one would get that. 1920. All right.
Well,
there's
you
only-
were there at the game.
That's
you
right.
actually told me
All right,
about
I
that
think
game.
someone's going to get this. 92. Who became the first woman to play in NHL? Bonus question.
Rayon.
Manon Rayon.
Yeah.
And Rick, what do you say?
Yeah, she played in a
Tampa.
preseason game, though, right?
Yeah, you're right. So 6,
Well, yeah.
We'll split the point. I'll take
5,
He got it.
3.
Yeah.
Right?
Three.
Is
Yeah.
that right? All right. There's still.
You gave Rick an extra point. I think he's at 4.
Oh, is he? Okay, 6, 4, 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many are left here?
All right, only a few, so you can catch up.
All right.
NHL record for a defenseman in playoffs. Who holds that record?
What?
What? Most games?
What,
No,
goals or
NHL
points?
record for points. I'm sorry, points.
Probably
a
Paul
playoff.
Coffey.
Wait, a
Single
specific
season?
playoff year or like
Career.
of all time?
All time.
Oh, man.
I'll go with Bobby Orr.
Was it Mark Howell?
Chris
Well,
Chelios.
remember, you got
Oh,
to remember.
Rick, you had it. Paul Coffey, 37
Paul
points.
Coffey. And the reason why I go back to Coffey is Orr didn't have as many playoff series. They had
Right.
one
Oh.
and then the playoffs.
yeah.
Okay, so
Oh, darn it! But you switched.
And Orr retired pretty young, right? Early
Yeah,
30s?
That's why I didn't
Yeah.
give the date.
29.
Yeah.
All right,
Really
so
good
it's
stuff.
6, 4, 3. You could still catch up, Eric.
You're adding questions as we go.
No, I'm trying to get good ones. Oh boy. Okay, you're gonna get this one. The first goaltender to score a goal by shooting.
Ron Hextall.
Is that your answer?
Yeah, that's excellent.
Yes, agreed.
You all got it. 7,
Yep.
5, 4.
Strategy here is just to wait
Who
for Greg.
invented
Yeah.
the first self-propelled ice cleaning machine?
Carl
Mr.
Vonizem.
Zamboni.
Yeah, what's his first name though?
Carl Vonizem.
What's
I
the
don't know.
first name? Frank Zamboni.
Frank,
Oh,
not Carl.
Frank. Good old Frank.
All right, how about this? How many women have their names engraved on the Stanley Cup, either as owners or team executives?
Well, I know at least one.
You do?
Ann Schutz's wife.
Oh, wow.
Who's that?
Take a guess.
I missed
with
that
the
question
Kings.
here. What was it?
How many women have their names engraved on the Stanley Cup, either as owners or team executives?
Well, you know what's interesting is
Bill Wirtz's
Trump
wife?
was trying to get them to take them off.
Now,
It's
how many
weird.
women? All right, you're not going to.
Well, there's
Get it.
at least that one. I'll say 12.
Oh, okay. What do you
Did I end up getting it?
I don't know.
I'm going to say.
To Vegas, I'm going to meet Rick up there
I'm
if
gonna
I'm
say-
this lucky.
I'm going to say none.
Well, there's definitely at least one because
And
of
what do
the
you say?
Anschutz thing.
I'm going to go with 3.
12.
It really is?
It really is. That's amazing. He
Hey,
takes-
Rick, could I
Mr.
join you
Smith.
up there? Because I've never
Yeah,
had
you
this
know,
much
is
luck.
this like a soccer game? Are we going to have extended time after 3 o'clock for the show to go
Yes.
keep going?
This is okay. That's it. Greg is the winner
Oh,
of hockey trivia. Yeah, a
Hey.
round of applause.
Hey,
oh,
hey.
that was great. Okay,
well,
so Greg, what did you learn that these questions can go on forever?
I
Yes.
want to thank, if I may, for a brief moment, Sports
Yeah.
Illustrated for Kids for providing me with the knowledge in the 80s and 90s to come up with a couple of those answers.
I remember that. Those
yeah.
are good, man. Waiting in the doctor office, you know, you got your Sports Illustrated for Kids and all that good stuff. It was fun. Well, broadcasting again, we're still here at Moon Saloon, 16554 North 83rd Avenue in Peoria. Come out, join us. Now, let's see. What did I learn? I'll just say this. It's unfortunate. Jacob Chikrin, young Coyotes defenseman, and he had his surgery there. Got injured during training. I believe it was his knee. But it was something about him that I had actually learned, and a couple other players like Mitch Marner and some others in their off-season training. Now, we knew how big and advanced, all this off-season training is, and they do a great job. But he was doing lunges from sitting, and I don't know if that's how he ended up getting hurt or not, but the fact is, it is amazing in the strength that not only it takes, but the fact that, the strength it's going to add. Now, once he comes back from injury, unfortunately, but it is amazing what some of these guys are doing. And Mitch Marner, what he's pulling, and this guy, Marner, is a stick. And, it's
Not
just unbelievable. Yeah, just the strength, the lower body strength. We knew they had it, so I don't want to say necessarily learn, but the extent, amazing. You got to check out the video. I'll try to find it again and send it.
So new training methods.
Some of them are new, yeah.
We should get a trainer here one day and talk about
the video where Chikrin's sitting and he jumps up onto that platform?
Oh, yeah, amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I've seen those. There's one where the guy jumps out of the pool from.
Yes.
He's like 2 or 3 feet in. It's like waist deep.
That was
he was a Chicago Bears draft pick from 5-6 years ago.
And one of the Grabner did that. He was on this video too, and I'm like, wow, it looked dangerous though. If he would have slipped, we would no longer have Grabner. But still,
wow. I remember this was 15 some years ago. Do you guys remember Adam Archuleta?
The name sounds familiar.
He played on the Rams.
Linebacker for ASU, turned DB. For the Rams and then the Skins and stuff. I remember his draft year, they had a whole segment on him on ESPN showing his routine, and it was all about quick twitch muscles. So they had him, imagine he's in the push-up position, but he's elevated 4 feet off the ground, like held up by his waist, and they would drop him flat down, and he had to catch himself with his arms in push-up position because football was all about the quick punch strength.
Oh, that's amazing.
This was 15 so years ago.
Wow. So some of the techniques.
I can do that from a bar stool, and when I fall off, I just go into a tuck and roll.
Unintentional, though, right?
Yeah.
Right,
well, no, I don't catch
like
myself with my hands. I just go down and my chest.
I can do it from a side of a curb, a very short curb. So anyway.
No, you would just start rolling.
Oh, that's right. I did do that once.
After a couple of kilt lifters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Now, so that's what did you learn?
Yeah,
is he going to be out
They
for a
won't
while?
say yet. Around training camp time, September 14th, I think they'll have more news on that. But, yeah, it definitely is a big-time thing. But I don't know more than that. I don't know if it's a thing where we'll keep him out just all of training camp, but then he'll be back early in the year, or if he'll miss half the year or whatnot. We'll find out more. They're close to the vest with injuries, which they should be.
True, yeah.
So we'll see.
He was the 2016 first-round pick?
Yeah, and he's tremendous rookie year for a defenseman stepping right in, because that very rarely happens, a defenseman.
No way, he's only
teenager.
19, I think,
right? Teenager stepping right in. His dad, was an NHL player for a number of years in the 80s and 90s, and so more skilled than his dad. Without a doubt.
Of course, I know all the answers to these questions. I'm just putting myself in the role of the casual fan who doesn't know
I like it.
These details. I want to make sure that we're touching them. It has nothing to do with my knowledge on the situation.
I think it's really good. I think that's clever and profound.
Clever and profound.
So, Rick, did you want to talk about some other aspects of hockey?
I could before I drop off here, because Gene and I have to partake.
Are you on a bar stool?
Not yet. That's the next
You
move.
said drop off.
We'll be
Are you
on
going to catch
shortly.
yourself? Yeah.
No, it's just.
Well, say hello to Cher, by the way.
I will. We're having dinner with her later, if you believe that. I have oceanfront property in Arizona. It's still
71,
UFA
and
time,
she still looks great.
Yeah. There's still a bunch of UFAs out there, and at this time of year, you start looking at people are waiting. They're either holding out because the value is higher than in reality. Some people are going to have to take lesser contracts. Some people are going to go overseas. So I did a little research on some of the salaries overseas. So the KHL, which we've all heard of in Russia, there's a bunch of teams. The same league that Vladimir Putin scored, I think, 12 goals in the All-Star game. But they have an average salary cap of around $20 million U.S. per team. But then some of that, guys like Kovalchuk, he makes $5 million of that. Datsuk makes $4.5 million. Voinev, the defenseman, he made $4 million. The rest of the players in that league average between $300 to $500K U.S. And the issue with a lot of those guys is there's uncertainty in paychecks. They may go 2-3 weeks without getting paid. There is one option. The other option is playing in leagues like Sweden and Finland and even Switzerland. They're professional leagues. But if you're going to go do that, they're elite leagues, but you're going to make about $200,000 U.S. If you take a minor league contract and play in the American Hockey League, the average salary there is around $85K, and the minimum salary is around $40,000. So that's really not an option. And then you have like the East Coast Hockey League, which has been around a long time. And I always wondered, because I had a bunch of guys that I knew played in that league, they go by a weekly cap because there's so dynamic roster changes on a regular basis. So if you get signed for 2 or 3 games, the minimum they got to pay is $400 a week. And the team has to balance their roster on a weekly basis with around $13,000 to pay all their 25 guys or how many they're on the roster. So you're not going to make a lot of money in the East Coast. You're going to make more money than arena football, but it's tough. So some of these guys are running out of options.
Yeah, that's not good.
No.
That's not good. So what will happen to Shane Doan? No one. Have we heard anything?
Yeah, no, I haven't heard. Well, Mike Fisher's retired, so you can take him off that Olympic team idea. Shane Doan, it's going to come down to, again, is he going to sign a 1-year deal for $1 million? If he thinks he's getting more than that, he's not. That's just something happened in Florida this week with Yager, too. I think they had a handshake agreement, and then something blew up on that deal. I've read that the Yager's not too thrilled about that. So
that's right, with the Panthers. And Yager played, I think, every game last year. He's still in tremendous shape, could help the team from an offensive standpoint, puck possession. Everyone going on. I guess it would depend if Yager don't, again, want to wait it out till training camp. Teams maybe will have a young guy they expected to make it that maybe isn't ready, or injury will happen. But will they wait that long, or will they decide to do something else, retire, or maybe with Yager, maybe going back, overseas? We'll see. It'll be interesting.
I think Yager would have signed with Montreal by now, but he probably won't because of the tax situation. You're basically going to lose 40% of your pay. Because Montreal's in such a tough position. He's the obvious fit to go there because they need someone to put the puck in the net. But out of all those guys, Yager, again with Doan, I think the only one of the 3 that signed is Yager.
I think I may agree with you there.
Doan goes unsigned is the prediction.
And Iginla.
I think so, too. I'm going to agree. How about Eric? Do you agree?
It feels like somebody's going to. But then, they're probably both in the same boat where they want it to win or nothing. And
that's right.
People that can help teams, they get signed. So I don't know.
That's the tough part, because Ginla, when he was moved last year, he played well, and he showed he's still an NHL player. And I think there's no doubt, even with Doan, in bottom 6 roles for those 2 guys. But it is difficult because cap stuff. Teams want to go young with some more speed throughout the lineup, and of course they would love the leadership. It just makes it difficult. I think it's a tough one to read, and for the players, like you said, being on winning teams, it has to be the right situation, because there could be teams that have called these guys, but maybe not the way to go. But Rick, have a good rest of the trip. We're about to go to break. Have fun with Cher tonight, dinner with her, and of course her show. Tell her we said hi. We're broadcasting Moon Saloon, 16554 North 83rd Avenue here in Peoria. This is Real Hockey Talk, NBC Sports Radio AM 1060. We'll be right back.
NBC Sports Radio AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
And we're back here at the Moon Saloon, 16554 North 83rd Avenue here in Peoria. This is Real Hockey Talk, NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060. Greg, Dave, Eric here, and special thanks again to Rick, who was up there at T-Mobile Arena in Vegas at the Golden Knights team shop, having some fun there, getting some souvenirs. Then he'll be having a good time at the Cher concert later. So that should be good stuff there for Rick and his wife. But, Dave, I know you wanted to talk a little bit about the Coyotes and kind of an analysis. And then we'll, over the next few weeks, get into some other teams because before you know it, we'll be at training camp. So, we got to start going over the offseason.
So we'll go through all the teams over the next 3 weeks. And but I should say at 2:30 from Rick Bronson's House of Comedy, Angelo, and I can't pronounce his last name. Let's see if Eric can give that. Angelo.
Let's first give our audience the spelling.
Yes.
Tsarouchas. I'm going to go with Sarouchas.
Oh, Sarouchas.
Oh, really?
I believe that's Greek.
I think you've got it.
Sarouchas?
Sarouchas.
And our apologies in advance to Angelo when he gets here that we're playing a game involving pronouncing his last name.
Angelo
He's going to have fun with that.
It's
we got to be careful.
It's only in the honor of getting it correct.
Yeah.
Wow, nicely done. I wouldn't have been close to that. So
we should have waited and had you try.
I know. I'm glad you announced.
He always gets last names wrong.
Way
though,
wrong.
No matter
Even
what.
first names.
Yeah. Even if it's like Smith.
Yeah.
Smith.
I say Smythe.
Smidha.
Or Smitten.
Smitten.
Yeah. So anyway, so let's look at some little in depth of the Coyotes. A lot of people are certainly hoping with all the changes, all the youngsters, things will change. Greg, I know you thought they'd go up, 10 to 12 points perhaps, maybe more.
Maybe
from,
more.
From that. So the goaltending change, one of the more obvious ones. The Coyotes allowed 769 goals over the past 3 seasons, the most in NHL.
Yeah.
So, everyone knows Mike Smith, after 6 seasons, has gone to Calgary. So Ranta will be the new goalie. Now, it's interesting about Ranta. I mean, .924 save percentage, ranked 3rd among the 61 goalies to play at least 50 NHL games. Smith ranked 45th. So maybe there's something here. Although I thought Smith played well under the circumstances.
He did. Well, remember, Ranta, too, was, with the Rangers and a really good defensive team overall, but he played very well.
Yeah.
Smith did well, and you know how I feel. I think Ranta will do a great job here.
You've always been a fan there. Now, the most difficult shots taken right in front of the net, there's actually a percentage they use on advanced stats. Ranta leads Smith in what they call home plate save percentage, .862. That's the shots right in front of you. Smith had .836. So Ranta is ranked 7th, Smith 45th. So if you look at that, maybe it starts to shape up like, maybe there's something here. Go ahead.
Ranta played behind Corey Crawford.
Yeah.
And then played behind Lundqvist.
Yeah.
So this is a guy who he could be the next Dominik Hasek. He could be stepping out of the shadow and become the next MVP of the league.
Wow, wouldn't that be?
I remember those days.
Greg agrees
Eddie
with
Belfour.
Wow, that would be
Hasek.
something else.
He's 28 years old.
Yeah.
He had some.
Well, I think he'll be really well. I mean, he did well with them, and but as he said, for the non-Chicago fans, because after Belfour, you had Hasek there as a backup, and So it was interesting how that ended up happening. Obviously, Belfour was amazing. I mean, you couldn't really move him, but man, Hasek took off with Buffalo. And,
But Raanta was good in his year with the Blackhawks.
Yeah.
I would be happy if I was a Coyotes fan that.
I
confident
think so.
in him.
Well, the stats are showing pretty good right now. Like Raanta led the NHL with quality start percentage, .679 the past 3 seasons. And that's based on stopping at least a league average number of shots, which was 38 of his 56 starts. Now, so he was leading the league. Smith was ranked 48th with a .486. So right now he's, even though it's different teams, I know they got this from, but Ranta's stats aren't too bad. And now the defensive play, I'm beginning to agree again with Greg on this. I think it's going to be upgraded with
Chalmerson back there now.
And,
Goligoski, I think he got off to a slow start last year.
And Oliver will get better too.
Yeah.
So I think I agree with you on that. I think it's going to, at least a couple years, going to be upgraded. And there's some veterans there. Chalmerson, he always played against some of the top line. Johansson, Nashville, Tarasenko. So he's used to playing against some of the top opponents.
And the penalty kill.
And the block shots. So I think he's going to, definitely improve. Now, the Coyotes rank last with penalty killing percentage of .776 and an average of 106.5 shot attempts per 60 minutes.
And that's worst?
That's the worst. And if you think about it, Derek Stepan, the new number 1 center for the Coyotes, in New York, they allowed 84.67 shot attempts per 60 minutes, a lot less. And when Stepan was on the ice, 4-on-5, he was 19th among forwards, compared to 93.76 when he wasn't. So you got another little added element with Derek Stepan stepping in there. Now, the forwards, let's go back to Stepan. At least 50 points in each of his past full seasons. Right?
Yeah.
That's consistency.
Yeah.
Never been a minus player in NHL career. That may change, but then you look at Max Stoney. No forward has scored more than 55 points since 2011 and 12. Ray Whitney 77, Verbata 62. But Domi, he's close to that. He had 38 points in 59 games last season, 82 game pace of 53 points. So, and then his first season, 52 points in 81 games. So he's close, and I think he's going to certainly do fine. How about Clayton Keller, number 7 pick in 2016? I think they have high hopes for this guy.
Yeah, no, of course. And he made his debut last year after college. And, the key will be, with young guys, you never know in the sense where you like the odds of having a good career. But, there's your up and downs at first, and you got to make sure you're totally ready. And so, even though he got his cup of coffee last year, will he make the team out of camp or go back to the Roadrunners now? It'll be interesting to see. But I think high hopes that he makes the team, and he has such amazing skill.
Now, Dylan Strome, center, he didn't have the best, 1 assist in 7 NHL games.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but he's still an elite point producer for area of the Ontario Hockey League. So he should make the team. Now, how about DeClaire? That's a lot of people think if he was on a line with Domi and Stepan, that he could come back to where he was.
Yeah, we know about the skill level and the speed, and obviously that was tough last year, and he just, it was rock bottom basically, and then of course going down to Tucson and everything. But I think he's a good candidate when you look not just with Coyotes but around the league for a bounce back type player, and I think we'll see that. And that's why there's so many questions with the team, because not just young guys. Yeah. Well, Duclair obviously still a very young guy, but but he has the experience in the league as well. Is that, will he have a bounce back? Because if he does and they stay relatively healthy, then that goes a long way. And not just improving in the standings, but maybe to getting to that level where they could contend at least and be in contention for a playoff spot. Not necessarily say making it next year, but, be up there for most of the year.
Yeah, no doubt. And another one they have high hopes, Christian Fisher.
Yeah, Fisher.
20-year-old forward, 3 goals in 7 HL games. That really doesn't mean much, but he had 47 points in 57 games in Tucson.
Yeah.
So, and we talked about the defensive people. Chikrin, I guess, we don't know if he's going to start or not.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's going to be a tough one. We talked about the goaltending. Could be a plus, improved. So I guess the key, in my opinion, and we'll see what you guys think, it's just the unknown of the youth. I mean, they're all pretty good, definitely good prospects. But Rick Tocchet definitely, they brag about his communication skills with all the players from Crosby.
Yeah.
He just loved the guy. He's sort of the liaison between the players and the coach, Pittsburgh, Sullivan.
Yeah, he helped Kessel a lot. I think over there. I'll say this, anytime there's a new system or anything, new coaching staff, it could take some time to get used to, but let's see through training camp and in preseason how they could react, get used to it quickly. I'd say this is that, and then Christian Dvorak, we saw last year.
Didn't even mention him
well.
yet.
And he, second half of the year.
Or Berlini.
And that's why there's a lot of excitement, a lot of like. And going back to Chalmerson, remember when, Zbigniew Michalek was in his prime?
Yeah, I remember. It was awesome.
They were good competitive teams, too. And a lot of it was because of that. Now, it's overlooked. But those little things, you have your stick in the right spot. Even a little inch away could mean something. You block the shots, all that stuff. Chalmerson is like that. And I think it'll be amazing how much he'll do for the D and the team in general. And the effect that it will have, I think it will go very underrated. And it's going to be a big-time thing. And, some of these forwards, the young guys that we're already producing, keep going, keep getting better. And then the ones that still are getting their feet wet, keep improving. And I got to say, Dylan Strome's had a great offseason, I hear. In terms of being in great shape and his workouts. And so, if you have him step in and he gets to the level of play, the NHL level, and really catches on quickly and not just fits in but could really provide something, I mean, that would be something. Your center depth goes from to now, behind Stepan having these guys there like Strome and Dvorak.
Now, there could be up to maybe 9 players, 22 or younger, on opening night. That's quite a young team, and including, they think, Strome will probably make the team. They think Keller and Fisher. So that could be, we'll see what happens there. The young energy in itself with the talent could make a difference. So I think that's pretty exciting.
Well, no, it is. And one other guy we don't talk about enough, but tremendous on the penalty kill and speed, Tobias Rieder. And you almost expect even more of a breakout. He has really good skill. You see, he has good hands, but with all the chances, maybe you'll see these breakaways and everything. And he's a really good player. Not, by no means nothing against him, but he could just convert on a little more and raise that shooting percentage a little bit. I mean, you could see a 25-goal guy potentially from him. And that's the thing, is that there's a lot of potential. And that's why it's hard now to pick in this league, because if a lot of it goes right, it's like, wow, this could be a tremendous team right off the bat. But you don't expect everything to go right away. And with young guys, it could take time. You say more competitive next year, but maybe not a legit playoff contender for 2 years.
Definitely more competitive.
Without a doubt. And that's the thing with the whole league, even the Western Conference. Just looking in general, you could see, Team A going, oh, man, this team I could see. I wouldn't be shocked if they won their division. But then, but I also wouldn't be surprised. And not with the Coyotes, but just saying other teams in there. Like, with L.A. or San Jose, if at the end of this coming season one of them was the top of the Pacific, it wouldn't be a huge shock to me.
No.
Yet it also wouldn't be a huge shock to see either one just miss the playoffs.
I totally agree.
And with the Coyotes, I could see being in contention maybe for a wild card spot or still kind of lower, but I think they'll definitely be more competitive. It'll be fun training camp, all the competition to make the team, because there'll be a lot of it.
So there's really 3 questions, and if we answer this, maybe we could predict what's going to happen. Will Rick Tocchet get the most out of his young players? That's going to be the first question. Dave Tippett wasn't that successful with it, but Tocchet, like we just said, he has a great ability to communicate with players. Like you said, Phil Kessel especially, Sidney Crosby also praised Tocchet. That's the first one. And then we'll go back. Can Strome, Keller, and Fisher make an impact? That's a big question, too.
Yeah.
And if they can, I think they're off and running. And will Ranta prove to be the number 1 goalie? That might be the most important of all.
Yeah.
Because if he falls, then it's not going to be pretty tight. Let's go back to the first question. Tocchet, will he get the most out of the young players?
Yes.
And Eric, will Rick Tocchet get the most out of the young players? He's certainly a great player. He's one of my favorite players, actually, Tocchet, when he was on Philly. Boy, he was tough, and he could score. He's like the typical power forward to do anything, and he did.
So he's a player's coach.
Yes, that's exactly it.
And the Coyotes have a team of young players.
Yeah.
It will help a ton, because you also look, some of his other coaching experience. Obviously, he was assistant here a while ago for a year, but he was head coach of Tampa. Yeah, not a good record, but, it was a few years back learning from it. And then he really learned a lot with Mike Sullivan there in Pittsburgh. And I still think at the end of the day, because of the mass improvement you'll see, at the end of the year he'll be a Coach of the Year candidate or at least talked about, I think, with the improvement I think we'll see from them.
Yeah, I think that's exciting. So that will be a question. If he doesn't get the most out of the young players, it's going to be a long season. Now, can Dylan Strome, Clayton Keller, and Christian Fisher make an impact? They a lot of people think they'll make opening night, but will they make an impact? They certainly have good skill, but they're young. The first years for each one of them, really. Not easy. I mean, you got other teams with great young players. And great young players that have played, a couple years now, and elite players now. So I guess that's the question, is will they make an impact and come up with, play their potential at least the first year as a rookie. Now,
but we're seeing more and more young guys
making it.
Play very well right now around the league. And part of it, the skill, the training you go through, coming up youth, and it's just new technology out there. So it helps these guys get into great shape, and then they really step it up. And so it will be interesting to kind of see how everyone works out in that regard.
Yeah, so can Strome be Arizona's number 2 center behind Stepan?
Well, he'll be eventually the number 1 guy.
Yeah.
And Derek Stepan, it's a great move. The leadership he provides and everything. On a contender, a real good team, he's more of a number 2 center iceman.
Right.
However, in this situation, though, it's still fine because you're getting a legitimate top 6 center with him now. And so, but yeah, if Strome could, especially off the bat, really
he could
put up numbers, and just overall play good hockey, that will be big.
Now, could Keller be a top 6 forward? Very likely.
Yeah, well, he needs to be. Yeah.
Yeah, and Fisher at least a top 9. So, and
there's a lot of skill there. And that's the thing, is that for opposing the defense, see, here's the thing: they'll have their brain farts, young guys, that will happen, and everything.
That'll happen.
On the other hand, with that skill, opposing D, you got to be careful. You can't just take for granted these young guys, and so they can cause some matchup problems. And that's why, again, they're one of those teams that there's a long rate. Like a team like Colorado, you kind of know they're going to be at the bottom of the league. Vancouver, very likely kind of there too. But there's so many teams, especially looking out west, where the Coyotes, it's just a long range. Wouldn't be shocked if they do make the playoffs. It would be tough for many reasons. The teams around them are all really good.
Oh, yeah.
But also with those teams around them, like I said, with, and even like a team like Anaheim, if they win the Pacific, no shock. But I also wouldn't be shocked to see, because of all the competition, if maybe an injury here or there, they could fall down a little bit. They're not saying they will, but it just shows you can't really predict. In the 90s, the Red Wings are going to win their division, Dallas, Colorado, and all that, and then, but now it's different. I mean, when you look at the Central with Chicago, they should still be in contention, and Nashville we saw, and all these teams.
Yeah.
But now Winnipeg, will they take that step with Steve Mason in that? Will he? I mean, it's amazing.
A lot of possibilities.
I think there'll be some surprises.
2 years ago, Dallas came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And
That's
then,
right.
And then fell again.
And they should
I
be
think
back,
they're back
with all
though.
their moves now this year. Man, it's
I think
just
crazy,
all the parity.
And Calgary's going to be better.
They should be, with
Edmonton, is going to keep getting better. I mean, how could they not, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be pretty exciting. So
it seems like there's a couple of teams at the top of each conference who are locks, and then 90% of the remaining teams could finish anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, there's still
an injury here.
Yeah,
could shuffle the deck. So is it better for let me ask you this: is it better for the Coyotes to have another season that results in a high draft pick? Are they at a point where they would be better off building further? Is there there's no McDavid in the draft next year? Is there somebody?
There's a Dahlin. Oh, the defenseman Dahlin. No,
Dahlin?
There's not.
Oh.
No, here's the thing: that's a good point. I think they're not at that point anymore because they've built up the system so much, and all these young guys at the NHL level coming in. I mean, sure, they could use if you get a top-notch, great young defenseman or whatnot. But at the end of the day, I think it's the point now where, if they don't make the playoffs and you're in the lottery and get fine. But I think that's success now. They're in that next phase of the rebuild. They got the assets. Now let's use them.
And they demonstrated what you just said, Greg, in answer to your question, because the Coyotes traded their number 7 pick, the first round, and the 21-year-old defenseman Anthony DeAngelo to acquire Stepan and Ranta. So they did that because they don't think they need any more prospects at this point.
Yep, sure.
They got such amazing youngsters, and they gave away. I mean, that's I think that's not bad either for New York. Get a 7 pick. Forgot who they got, but getting Anthony DeAngelo, who sort of a loose cannon at times, but loads of talent. And so
absolutely.
I think Greg's right. I think it's about now. They think they've stockpiled enough.
Yeah,
they
you
got
have the
assets.
Yeah.
Now you said it at the same time.
You use them at NHL level or for trades like that. And you got to do everything at the right time too. You make the right trades. You don't do something just to do it or waste the asset. But I think they've done a good job.
So then, off the ice considerations for the that would necessitate a good season. This would be a very good year for the Coyotes to make the playoffs, just in terms of relationship with the fans.
That's true.
So that might even be a bigger factor than are we worried about a high draft pick next year?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. I think they have to fill the seats. I mean, economically, it's still a business.
Yeah.
And if they don't, and they still get the 20 million losses, that's going to at some point influence their decision what to do. Of course. So I think they want to have a good product, a product that's competitive, a product that is exciting, and they do, possibly with the youngsters.
Yeah.
But a product that may, can they hit the playoff mark? And that would go a long way for them economically. But then again, some say it's because they're in the West End of Phoenix. That's a problem. So, but I think a good winning team will solve the problem.
It definitely helps.
Yeah, will help.
Yeah. Well, I got to say the fans are excited with the moves, and not just more from seeing more young guys and stuff. But, yeah, getting some of these veterans and Stepan and Ranta and Lashalmerson, especially the hardcore fans, really appreciate what he brings. And then the fans, even the casual fans, kind of seeing, like, man, he was with the Blackhawks for many years, like, part of those really good teams. So you have that leadership stuff. And then once they really, get to see him in there, they'll go, oh, okay, this is,
gritty.
good stuff.
He's gritty. He's a player that fans can appreciate. Yeah. Casual fans who may not understand intricacies of offensive schemes and such can watch him stick his right foot out and an unprotected part of his ankle and take a slap shot on a penalty kill, and they can say, that's a blue-collar
that's exactly
Swede no doubt about it.
Who brought his lunch pail to work today to block some shots for this team.
And we're broadcasting from Moon Saloon, 16554 North 83rd Avenue. We're here another hour and a half till about 3 o'clock today. NBC Sports Radio AM 1060. This is Real Hockey Talk, and we'll be right back.
Hey, this is Luis Gonzalez of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Join my friend Brian Krebs every Thursday from 8 to 8:30 p.m. on NBC Sports Radio AM 1060.
And we're back here at Moon Saloon, 16554 North 83rd Avenue here in Peoria, the P83 district. And this is Real Hockey Talk on NBC Sports Radio AM 1060. Greg, Dave, and, of course, Eric. And we have Mason here. He's turning 7 tomorrow.
Ooh,
he's playing some baseball. Yeah. Birthday coming up, a little Leo there.
Let's get him on the air.
Yeah, maybe in a little bit.
Yeah.
And, we're chomping at the bit, going to get some great food here soon. And so, again, we're here till 3. But even if we're not here anymore, I mean, we'll be sad. We want to see you. And I know you'll be sad not seeing us. But you can still see the great people here at Moon Saloon. Great staff and nice crowd here. You got everything going on with the TVs everywhere. So it'll be a good time no matter when you can make it out here. So.
And a big shout-out for Eric Story, the great actor. He is an actor, dinner, detective, interactive murder mystery. Definitely people should see your show. I mean, it's really,
sure, yeah.
I liked it a lot. And I did not win. I did not guess. I'm sort of bad at that, I guess.
It's all right.
But
he's pretty clueless.
But, I was in the movie Clueless. They wrote it after me.
He was supposed to play Cher's dad, the lawyer.
Yeah, I was. Oh.
Cher.
So, yeah.
Cher again.
Reference.
Yeah.
When's your? Do you know the next one? How do people find out about this?
So I am an actor in a local show, a dinner show called The Dinner Detective. It is an interactive murder mystery show. We are once a month for now. Starting next month, we're twice a month. You can go to just Google Dinner Detective Phoenix, and you'll find our schedule. I believe tickets are available for the next 2 or 3 months.
Oh, excellent.
We are at a hotel, the 4 Points Sheraton.
Nice hotel.
I-17 and Peoria. Yes. Nice hotel, terrific fun. It's a show where you enter with 60 or so strangers. We sit at tables kind of like a wedding reception.
Yeah, it is.
With a gap in the middle. And then at a certain point, someone in the room will die. And it hopefully it's not you. But
I thought it was me until they said, no, it wasn't you.
You were ready to volunteer, though. You were ready to take
it was weird, yes.
And then you spend the rest of the night trying to solve the murder. If you're there and you see me, I might be playing the role of the detective who enters the scene and doesn't know who did it and has to talk to everybody in the room, including possibly you.
That's right. You were great at that, by the way. You should be a full-time actor. He was really good.
If you want to pay me for that, Dave, I'm certainly open to offers.
Yes, I will. Let's start taking bids, but definitely see the show. I think it's a really, really fun evening. It's about 3 hours, maybe.
Yeah, you can arrive at 6:15.
Got a good dinner going.
Yep, we wrap up around 9:30.
Yeah.
You get dinner, salad dinner, and dessert.
Yeah.
All included.
Some hors d'oeuvre deals going on.
Yes.
Cheese, crackers. Yeah, I like that.
It's a fun time. You can come with the group. Dave, I know that you didn't win.
I did not
very
win.
upset about that.
Yes, that's why I got shot by the victim.
You got shot by the victim.
That would make me the victim.
If you were shot, you would be the victim.
Yeah.
But you don't have to. You don't have to win the game to have fun.
Oh no, I had tons
of fun. You can choose your level of participation. There's clues involved. Some people hilariously will grab the clues and go run into a corner somewhere and try to piece the mystery together, kind of like those old movies where you have a cork board and photographs are pinned to the board and there's thread running between each one to show the connections. You can do that, or you can show up, have 5 or 6 adult beverages, and laugh at my stupid jokes and have a good time that way.
They're actually good jokes. I like them.
Well, I'm going to see something here, though.
Yeah.
Or not see. Actually find out something.
Yeah.
Eric, do you know what you want to eat?
I do.
We're ordering right in front of everyone.
If you want to let me know, I'll go run it over.
Earlier in the show, Rick, the hockey guru, quoted a line from my favorite television show, Seinfeld.
Ruth Chris Steakhouse.
No, I was hungry with that too. But he quoted the line from Seinfeld about write-offs, and then lo and behold, a half an hour later, I look at the menu here at the Moon Saloon, and what do I see? A big salad.
That is good. I've had that.
Salad.
And I have an admiration for Julia Louis-Dreyfus and the character Elaine Venice. I've always wanted to see life through her eyes. So I'm going to order the big salad.
That's like switching places, that movie.
It is. It's like Freaky Friday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was pretty cool.
With the added.
That was pretty good.
And what type of dressing?
What type? Well, you are an attentive waiter, kind sir.
This is like a hockey pregame meal.
Can we put a Twitter poll up for the audience to select my dressing?
Probably.
My salad dressing?
We could do that.
I don't know how much time we have for that to come in, but let's go with Italian dressing.
Italian.
Oh, good choice. Good choice.
There we go. So we got a bowl of chili, cheesy bread for Dave, and Eric's going with the big salad, Italian
and
dressing.
Then cheese and onions on chili.
Okay. The big salad does come with smoked turkey and ham, so it's not a vegetarian salad or a vegan
protein, though.
Salad. Yes.
The food here is very good. I've been here many times. Our office is actually very close. Nice people. Brad, the GM, Bryce, the manager, good people here. And definitely come by, say hi to them, and enjoy the great TVs, the great food. It's really a good environment. It's sort of an intimate environment here, and you sort of like that. And it's a popular sports bar, no question about it.
I've heard that there are some Chicago area sports fans that live in the city of Phoenix.
Oh, yeah.
There's a couple.
Definitely.
There might be 5 or 6.
And
tons.
And for those of you who aren't, you're thinking to yourself, oh, again, enough with this Chicago people. But this is a Chicago sports bar.
Yes, it is.
We've got
they attract a lot of Chicagoans, if that's what you call them.
That is correct.
Really?
Chicagoans.
What do you call Phoenix people? Oh, no?
Chicagoans.
Chicagoans. How about Phoenicians? No, Phoenicians. I think he really called
Phoenicians,
them
and Tucsonians.
Yeah, a Tucsonian.
And then
a flagmanum, a Flagstaff manum. I don't know what that means.
Flagstaffian? That's a good
Flagstaffian.
What is the?
I should have thought of that. Do I get credit? But you said it.
I don't know, but can we get anyone who knows to send us
a Flagstaffian? I think that is a
Flagstaffian.
Yeah. What do we tweet? Because I don't know if we have the tweets going on right now.
Oh yeah, well from our real hockey talk, real _ hockey talk. You can find us on Twitter, but our main Twitter account that we have
still
suspended. We don't know why. We didn't do anything wrong.
I'm new to the. I'm new to this situation. I don't know the details. But
still don't know.
People want to know how the Twitter feed is banned. The man does not want that Twitter feed out to the world.
And we're not.
Why?
We're not even harassing him on Twitter as much as we want to, or at least I want to. Yeah, and so the thing is it's just bizarre. But no, I heard this happens sometimes. Now they finally got back to me with an automated message, and they're looking into it still. So hopefully everything's taken care of. Yeah, we might have to
That's
start
right.
thinking about
the three
some
greatest
stuff
lies.
going on.
Yeah, but we won't say that.
So if there's demand from the crowd, from the public, from our listening audience to follow the Twitter feed, just
They will
bottle
change
that
it.
up.
Yeah.
Folks, bottle that up. It's the feed will be live soon enough.
I agree. Yeah.
And we need a grassroots effort to get this thing back
We
going.
do, and
That's
the
right.
financial value of this not being live right now, our main Twitter.
So we could maybe do something about that.
Yeah, possibly.
Legal action.
Yeah,
Oh.
I think we should.
Oh.
Right? Yeah.
Uh-oh.
But our other Twitter, hockey related, real_hockey talk. So follow us there.
And you know what? If you wanna send me an individual message to tell me how bad
There
I
you
am
go.
on the air,
You're great. Are you kidding? You're an
you
actor.
can find me at Team Jerk Store. Speaking of Seinfeld,
Jerk Store.
Really?
Team like I'm on the Team Jerk Store. If you remember back
That's
in
a
the
real
day,
handle thing?
that's my Twitter
That's his.
handle.
Team what?
Team Jerk Store.
Jerk Store.
The Jerk Store called.
Wow.
And if you remember back in the day, there was Team Aniston and Team Jolie. If
Yes,
you're like me and
I
you
do.
watch celebrity gossip,
Yeah.
Well, that's from Friends, right?
No, well, no.
Jennifer Aniston
and-
from Friends.
Yeah,
Right.
I remember Jolie took the pit, and so, but we were on Aniston's team.
Yes, and then
Yeah.
Yeah,
later
I
on
think
you
so.
had Team Jacob and Team Edward.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for
I
the,
was Team
the Twilight.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I was
actually
Team
Dave's
Edward, though.
favorite movie franchise.
No, it is.
And I'm not even
I
kidding.
can't. Don't get me started on that. That was a phenomenal franchise, and I'm only the teenagers liked it. But I remember watching it the first time, and I go, "Wow, this is like a spiritual movie that happened to be vampires." That's what I said to myself.
Oh man!
But I'm Team
Yeah.
Edward.
Team Edward. So
What are you, Team Jacob?
I am Team Jerk Store.
Oh, that's how you got
That's
it.
where it came from. Also,
And what specifically does that mean?
a classic episode, George Costanza is in the boardroom and he's insulted, and he has no comeback for his coworker. He's working for the Yankees. She's shoveling shrimp into his mouth.
Oh.
And his coworker says, "Hey, Costanza, the ocean called. They're running out of shrimp." And Costanza has no retort. He has nothing to, and he kind of slips away weakly. And he's in the car, and he realizes that's the line I should have said.
Yeah.
The Jerk Store called, and they're running out of you. And he tells this line to several other characters throughout the show, and he's sold on this line. He says that I should have said it. This would have worked. Every other character is saying, "George, that doesn't even make sense." Elaine says, "George, there are no jerk stores."
Oh.
But he's confident in it, and
That's how you got it.
He gets to deliver it at the end. He
Wow.
finagles his way into another meeting, sets it up, delivers the line, and he is then one-upped because
That is too funny.
he says the line, "The Jerk Store called, and they're running out of you," and the original man who insulted him, I don't remember his name, from the Yankees, says, "That doesn't matter, George, because you're their number one seller." And the entire room rips up a laughter again, and wouldn't you know it, Costanza is foiled.
Oh, man.
This and other recaps of Seinfeld programs
So
are
you're
available here on NBC Sports 1060.
Yes. Believe it or not, I never watched that show.
Oh, my goodness.
I know. I don't know.
I think
or
you
even
would like
Friends.
it. Yeah.
I think there's a lot I missed.
You
I
catch
don't
up on
It's-
Netflix. Well, I know Friends is on
Oh.
Netflix. Seinfeld, I'm guessing.
Hulu.
Yeah.
They, you know what? They had a big release for the show. When it came on Hulu about a year and a half ago, I was in New York City
You
for
were?
the first time in my life.
What were you doing there?
I was at an improv festival.
You were
Nice.
doing improv?
Performing at an improv festival. I do improv here in the Valley.
You do?
And if anyone out there listening is interested,
Yeah.
there's a couple of terrific places that you might be able to see me. The Torch Theater, located on Central Avenue, just south
Yeah.
of Camelback Road, and Second Beat Improv Theater, which is a little newer on 7th Street, just north of Bethany Home. Second Beat.
Is that like Second
Improv.
City?
It is the same word, yep. It is long-form improvisation, comedy. We do a show on Friday nights at 7 o'clock called the Skewed News Hour.
Oh, wow.
Where the audience, it's pretty fun. You can show up a few minutes early, and we put a newspaper out on the stage, and the audience cuts out articles from the newspaper, puts them on a corkboard, And then at 7 o'clock, the cast comes out, pulls the news articles off the board, reads them to the crowd like a news broadcast, and then we do comedic, improvised scenes, sketches based on
How do you do
it.
that? I mean, what's the trick there? The secret of being able to immediately come up with funnies on the spot like that without rehearsing.
You have a big improv fan right here, little Mason.
Oh, he loves it?
Really?
Oh, yeah. He taught at a high school over here, and he just, oh, yeah.
It's a fun show to see in person.
Yeah.
It doesn't translate always quite so well. On television, most people have seen Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Oh, yeah.
That's
yeah.
generally the hook for most people. And that show is very funny.
Yeah,
We do something a little different. That show's short form. We do long form. We'll take one suggestion and we'll do a 25-minute show.
Oh, nice.
It's fun. If you like comedy and you want to try something a little different, you never know what's going to happen. It is made up completely. People always ask me, how do you... Come on, it's definitely not... You're writing these ahead of time. And I say, absolutely not. We're way too lazy to do that. It takes a lot of time.
That's funny.
and you have to memorize things. And
oh, yeah, memorizing's the word. That's why with your guys' order, I had to get it in my phone, and even though Bryce, the great waitress bartender here, came by, I still had to... A manager, my apologies, I had to read through the phone and exactly remember. I remembered yours, Eric, with
the big salad,
Italian dressing.
Okay.
But Dave's had to go back again for the cheesy bread, the bowl of chili with cheese and onion.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I should have made it easier.
Well, I don't think you should change your order based on Greg's memory. I think you're
but
perfectly
when we're
justified.
ordering on the air, I think I should.
No, I think you did a great job. Yeah.
Hey, Greg, you don't be so hard on yourself. You don't.
Yeah,
you're
that's
multitasking. You don't. You can look at your phone for the order. That's okay.
Yeah.
I think Greg should go out with you and go to that improv place and have him teach him the ropes how to do improv.
How to do improv.
You know what? You can take classes. You don't have to want to perform on stage.
They have classes?
But sure, a lot of people will take the level 1 class just to get kind of more social, more comfortable. A lot of people, it will help their business. If you're in sales, if you're...
wow, really?
We also do corporate team building workshops where some of the senior teachers will get hired for 3 hours. And it's a skill. And I apologize if I'm going on too long on
keep
this.
going.
No, I think it's interesting.
I didn't realize that with the business people coming in. That actually makes a lot of sense.
It really... I came upon it about 6 years ago, and I took my first class, and I was never a person who was terribly interested in performing or anything like that. But it really hooked me because immediately the thing that you learn, which I think is vital for anybody, which I had, you get to play like a little kid. Mm-hmm. And sure, there's a lot of strong silent types out there who don't want to show weakness in their social life or in their business life.
You mean insecure people?
Oh, God. You said it, Dave, not me.
I did say it, didn't I? I don't know what I meant, though.
But what you can do is you get to play. It's almost therapeutic.
I believe
Think of how a little kid plays. Mason is 7. Going to be 7?
Yeah.
Mason's his name, right?
Yeah.
All right, I want to make sure I got that.
You got it.
When you watch little kids play, they improvise everything.
Yeah, that's true.
They go hang out. They don't know what's coming next, and they have a blast. And this is the thing that we lose as adults. So I know that this is real hockey talk. This isn't hockey talk, but this is life lessons from.
This is life lessons on NBC Sports.
You can take these classes, get you out of your comfort zone.
I agree.
Do something that you're not necessarily comfortable with. And
that's the only way to grow.
It's good for you.
Yeah,
it's good for you.
I took acting classes at UCLA.
Okay.
Long ago, and it's like, oh my God, these people are phenomenal. I was really nothingness.
You were nothingness?
I mean, the only thing I could imitate was Bob Miller on the air.
Oh, yeah.
Live from the Great Western Forest. That's the only thing I could do.
Oh, you did it after he was already on?
Well, this was 20 years ago at UCLA, 25 years.
Oh, you did it after...
Oh, yeah, during his when he was announcer there. And, boy, these UCLA students were phenomenal actors, and I go... Wow, I don't know if I can do that, but the best thing I could do is like a news reporter or an announcer.
Yes.
That was
You've got the radio voice.
I think I do.
The bass.
Not the radio voice, but not the face.
I was not gifted
You said
with the
face,
radio.
but I say face. Not the radio face. I mean, not the TV face, I should say. So anyway, that was very good. So I hope people come out to see you at both places.
Yep, Dinner Detective, Phoenix, Google that. Torch Theater, Phoenix, and Second Beat Improv Theater.
A fun time, no doubt about it. So let's see. So should we go real quick on the prospects? We mentioned many of them. You know, Clayton Keller already, a 7th round in 2016 draft. He turns 19 on July. Oh, he already turned 19. July 29th.
Yeah.
He's sort of not the biggest guy, 5 feet 10, 168 pounds. Well, you know. Dylan Strome, third pick.
But it doesn't matter.
Yeah, third pick, 2015 draft. You know, so he's 6'3", 198. The guy should be good.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Then we talked about Christian Fisher, number 32 pick, 2015 NHL draft. 20 years old. Yeah, a lot of youngster. Good size, 6'2", 212. And then here's someone maybe we haven't heard of. Well, I think probably we have. Kyle Wood, the defenseman.
Oh, yeah. He's going to be a good one.
Yeah, traded from Colorado.
The Boxer trade.
Avalanche, yeah. 21 years old, but I think what they love is 6'5", 235 pounds, and a heavy right-handed shot. So watch him. I don't know if he'll make it this year, but probably the next year. And then Adine Hill, have you heard of him?
Yes.
Number 76 pick in the 2015 draft. They had a really good draft in 15, by the way. And he's a goalie. And, you know, the third in line probably on the Coyotes. But he'll be number 1 goalie in Tucson, so we'll probably see him at some point in a couple years. So a lot of prospects, not to mention all the youngsters that have already played.
But Wood might get an opportunity this year at some point, especially with Chikrin injury.
Oh.
It's possible. Other injuries call it, but if he has a good camp, I mean, who knows?
You're right. So a lot of good stuff going on. Of course, as we talked about, Mike Fisher announces retirement. Was that a right move? I mean, he could still play, though, but did he just – what was behind that, do you think? Touring with Carrie Underwood?
No, he I mean, he's had a good career, long career, battled a lot. So at the point, you know, your body's taken quite a bit out there. But, yeah, he could still play. I mean, there's no doubt. He's still an NHL
tough decision
player. But
what would he have made? Would they?
He would have had to take one of those $1 million a year type deals, probably.
He got a lot of praise from a lot of his teammates. He's the ultimate teammate, great captain and leader, too. So, but next week we will analyze, during Real Hockey Talk, the Anaheim Ducks, Boston Bruins, and the Calgary Flames. We'll look at 3 huge, you know, teams that, each did well, for sure, and see if there's anything we could pick off this analysis that would give us a tip. Will Anaheim stay on top or not? Boston, I think, is an uprise.
Yeah.
And Calgary certainly uprise. So it should be interesting to see how these teams, how we analyze them, and what we can do about it. So, wow. So this is just, 2 hours almost flown by. It's almost end of the second hour segment.
Yeah.
And definitely come on by. It's really filling up right now at the Moon Saloon. A lot of people are here. Good crowd. You definitely want to join in.
Yeah, a lot of things going on. You got college softball, it looks like, or Little League.
Oh, yeah. Little League, I think. Yeah. Oh, wait, no, that's softball. Yeah, that's right.
Little League softball.
I never heard of that.
Ohio is up on Washington 7-1.
Oh, man.
Hopefully you put your money on
Ohio,
the team from the Rust Belt.
Yeah. Oh, man, and get the out. So we're at Moon Saloon, 16554 North 83rd Avenue in Peoria. Come on down. A lot of the TVs are really visible, too. You know, some places are really high up. You have to sort of jump up and down to see them. Not here.
Yeah,
great visibility.
Yeah.
And quite a few. I don't know how many what would you say? It's quite a few TVs, though.
I see 15.
15
from my vantage, and there's 2 more, 3 more.
Good counting.
There's not a bad seat in the house here.
No, there's not at all.
It's not too big. It's not too small. The TVs
it's a cool
are large.
place. I'll come here on a break and watch hockey usually.
Yeah. And I believe that they're serving local brew on tap. Am I wrong?
Oh, wow.
I think they do.
Local brew.
And bringing up the hockey thing, I think it's one of the few places
they love their
here
hockey.
That, not only loves their hockey, but they have NHL
package.
Center ice. Yeah.
I think that's right.
So that's good because not many places have that.
That's right.
Around here, at least.
I don't live nearby. I live closer to East Valley, but I always, over the past few years, had to look up which bars had that at the beginning, first round of the playoffs when I wanted to watch the Blackhawks play. There weren't many bars that had
hockey.
The package.
That's a shame.
Out where I'm at, but I'll definitely make the trek out here. This is a.
Oh yeah, you're a Chicago guy, this is perfect for you.
Oh yeah.
I think you should move.
West side.
But it is really, really nice, and I think they're open like till 2 in the morning or something. It's
pretty late.
Unbelievable. We'll try to get someone we can talk about this at the next segment, if no one's shy. But if not, Eric, you'll be their spokesman. Okay, I'm just kidding.
I will speak for them.
You will speak for the Chicago bar. Yes, it is.
I'm the voice of the listener, and I'm the voice of the
reason. The voice of reason
and the voice of the terrific staff here at the Moon Saloon.
Of who? Yeah, that's right. It really is. Bryce, a great manager. Brad, general manager, he's not here today. I've always enjoyed this place. So, anyway, and how's Mason? Is he ready to go on the air?
Maybe in a little bit. I think he wants to get into that improv conversation.
You know what? I'll tell you what. I just remembered that every summer there's a 1 or 2 week youth sort of camp that they put on at the Torch Theater. I don't know what the hours are, but just Google the Torch Theater in Phoenix, and you'll find how to sign up.
Oh, that's
the youngsters.
Cool. Well, that'd be really cool.
Absolutely. And we're broadcasting here at the Moon Saloon, over here 16554 North 83rd Avenue here in Peoria, part of P83. It's Real Hockey Talk. We'll talk some more sports, though, after the break. Some baseball and other things going on right here on NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060.
NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060, KDUS Tempe, Phoenix, and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale, Phoenix.
And welcome back to Breakthrough Sports here on NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060, broadcasting from the Moon Saloon, 16554 North 83rd Avenue here in Peoria, part of the P83 district. Greg, Dave, and of course Eric Story, and Mason's here, turning 7 tomorrow, and he wants to do some improv, right? Maybe we'll have him on, talk a little baseball later. He's a big hockey, baseball fan, all sorts of good stuff, but we had some fun there with Real Hockey Talk. We still talk lots of hockey during the off season. That's our thing. But now we'll get into some baseball. We got some games going on here right now. Actually, the Cubs and Washington Nationals. Looks like 7-3 Cubs right now.
Oh, wow. Look at that. That's a good game.
Yeah. Now, our first time on since the non-waiver Major League Baseball trade deadline. Of course, trades still be made in August. There was one today. Deshaun Rodriguez went back to the Pirates from Atlanta. Used to be on the Pirates, now he is again. So you have that going on. But, yeah, the big stuff with the trade deadline leading up to it, obviously a few weeks before the deadline, the J.D. Martinez trade over here. So we talked a lot about that over the last few weeks. But coming down to the wire of the deadline, it's funny because I was watching for a little bit MLB Network, and everyone, all eyes on the Dodgers in Houston. They'll do, if they'll do anything big. And the Dodgers, got a couple lefty relievers. And they're like, yeah, but still an amazing team, obviously. Should have done more. Well, then right at the buzzer, basically, but not announced till 20 minutes after. was the Yu Darvish move. So it's funny, how the opinions change quickly. Like, oh, they did do something. But Darvish pitched last night against the Mets. First game as a Dodger, and was as advertised, 7 shutout innings, got 10 strikeouts. And so, when Clayton Kershaw comes back, you have that two-headed monster now come playoff time. That's going to be some big stuff.
I read the article about how that went down and how the Dodgers had just accepted the fact that they were not going to get him.
Yeah.
And the call came from Texas with 20 minutes to go. And, boy, that seems like a perfect fit.
Yeah.
With a guy who he's not without his warts, Darvish, in terms of since his comeback from injury.
Yeah.
I think his ERA is a little inflated this year.
Yeah.
But it doesn't help when he has a game where he gives up 10 earned runs just before the deadline. But that shows you what that kind of stuff can do to players mentally.
Yeah.
Being the subject of trade rumors, he has the worst start of his career. He gets traded to a city that I think is a perfect fit on a team that has one of the best records at this point of the year in
history.
And the next game, 7 innings, 10 Ks.
Yeah.
He's when guys pitch for contenders, things change. When guys play for teams that matter, there's so much of that stuff that analytics can't measure. The mental aspect of being in a pennant chase, and in hockey, being on a team that's in the playoffs versus guys that are maybe going through the motions, thinking about contracts, thinking about not giving it their all. And baseball is a long season, and it gets hot, and the dog days. So if you're playing out the rest of your season without much to play for,
right,
the numbers may not be there. But man, you put a gamer on a team that's contending. I think Darvish is going to be he's going to fill the Kershaw hole.
Oh yeah, I think so too. And I mean, he has some of the best stuff in the league, and like you said, like Eric had mentioned with his last start before the deadline being that awful start, and that inflated that ERA to get over 4. Now, also going to the National League, his home games being in Dodger Stadium when he gets over there. His first game obviously was in New York last night against the Mets, but you have that situation where you have that Dodger, with Rick Honeycutt, the pitching coach. They seem to do a really good job with a lot of guys, bringing them over and making sure, any kinks that are in their games, they have this way of kind of bringing them to their best, it seems like. And so, I think he'll be at that level. I think the excitement is there. And Texas was a good team for many years. And you saw, how good he was, before his injury, of course, and then while they were contending. But, I think in the meantime, before Kershaw, they have so much depth in that rotation because you have Wood and Hill. And now Hill struggling a bit today against the Mets. The commissioner's office called the team and asked if they would lose a game. So they are down 3-0 right now in the 4th, although that doesn't really mean anything with the Dodgers.
I saw that if they win today, they will have a record of 43-7. Their last 50 games,
something
which has
like
not happened in 100
years. Oh, yeah.
This is a historically good run.
Oh, yeah.
Historically good team.
Yeah, they've been just amazing. And, when Cody Bellinger came up, that was really that turning point. And so, and Adrian Gonzalez, who's been out this whole time, he's going to be back really soon.
Do you want him back if you're a Dodgers fan?
You do. Now, the thing is, he's not going to play a lot in terms of starting because how good, when you look at the outfield, it's Cody Bellinger, first baseman, but he could play the outfield if you need him to. But the thing is that Chris, Taylor has been amazing. Jock Peterson, in center, you don't really want to take him out. Plus, he's left-handed hitter like Gonzalez. And then the right, obviously, Yasiel Puig has had a resurgence this year. And he kissed the batting coach again, Turner Ward. And Ward's fighting him off while Puig's trying to get the kiss in, and he got the kiss in again. It was adorable. But
he has a lot of fun playing the game, doesn't he, this Puig kid?
Oh, he does, yeah, and he's definitely matured a lot.
On my way here on the freeway, I saw a billboard for the upcoming series, and it was Paul Goldschmidt representing the D-backs, and Puig was the photograph representing the Dodgers. They'll be here in a couple days, right?
Monday, yeah. Series starting here, so that's a great series because they're both really good teams, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So
let's fill the stadium, D-backs fans.
Yeah, well,
this is a historically good for the franchise. D-backs team as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the thing. And if they did meet in the playoffs, that would be a great series because the D-backs have got a lot out of their starting rotation, and when you look at their offense. Adding Martinez added so much because the D-backs really struggled against left-handed hitting. And a team like the Dodgers, getting Darvish is great also for the fact that he's a right-hander. This team is so predominantly left-handed starting when you look at Kershaw, Wood, Hill, Hyunjin Ryu, guys like that. So, that's a big help kind of in that regard with that. But adding, Martinez, what it's done, Goldschmidt is already amazing, obviously, but, his number's even getting better. He had 3 home runs the other day.
Yep.
It was like a quarter mile's worth of distance or something like that.
At Wrigley.
Amazing. And
after they lost 15-3 the first game of that series, D-backs came back and took the next 2.
Yeah, and mentally, what a good bounce back that is. And so they've been great. Now, the rivals coming in town. So, you will see a good crowd regardless. Usually a lot of Dodger fans are there. We usually outnumber. But the thing is that you hope still a lot of local folks are there. And
this is a great Diamondbacks team.
Oh, it is. It is outstanding, and it's going to be great come playoff time. Very likely, they'll get into that wild card game. And that's the tough part, though. In regards of getting there is amazing. If you don't win your division, though, when you get there, you got that one-game wild card. Anything can happen.
Aptly named.
Yeah, exactly.
That's one of my pet peeves. One of the things that I disagree with the most is the one-game play-in wild card game after playing 162 games of a regular season. Now, I understand that it serves a great purpose for helping out the division winners because those teams are both running their aces in that game,
right?
And it really doesn't set up their staff. But it doesn't. It just feels like we played 6 months. And baseball is so random. The best teams in history lose 4 out of 10 games.
Yeah.
So we're going to have one game to get in, but the D-backs are on track to play in that game against Colorado. And there's actually one more team that I think is in the mix that I wanted to bring up. If we could, if you are a fan of the underdog, and if you are a fan of the little guy, if I know this country well, I know that we do have plenty of people who are fans of David over Goliath. There is a team right now who is in contention.
Yes.
Who if you are not a Diamondbacks fan, if you are not a Dodger fan, if you don't have a dog in the fight currently, and not many teams do because the odds say that. Right now,
if you like beer, this would be who you would really want.
If you like beer, Greg is picking up what I'm putting down here. The Milwaukee Brewers are the underdog in more ways than one. Did you know who the lowest salary team in baseball is?
Is it Milwaukee?
Milwaukee Brewers.
Really?
About $80 million. Compared to the Los Angeles Dodgers, $250 million. Okay, if you know 6th grade math, that's roughly threefold difference.
Yeah.
This is current Moneyball at its best. If you don't have any teams in the fight, the Milwaukee Brewers deserve your attention, folks. They're doing it on a thread salary. They've got a couple of young pitchers who figured things out this year, Chase Anderson and Jimmy Nelson. They've got a guy named Eric Thames, who they went out. They didn't have a first baseman. They went out and signed Eric Thames.
Japan or whatever, yeah.
I believe Korea. But
Korea,
he came out sizzling. He has since cooled, but they've got a platoon there. This is this is a great team who's made some solid trades in the past. Arcia, the shortstop, came over in a deal. VR as well, their second baseman. So if you're a fan of the underdog, and I know that you're not, Greg, I'm looking at the LA sign on the top of your hat. And on your,
if
on
we
your
weren't
shirt.
in it, I would definitely be with. Well, no, I want Milwaukee to catch up to Colorado, get the wild card game, or even better, the Cubs in their division, because the Cubs now losing 3 straight, although they're winning this. But the fact is now Milwaukee again is only, I believe, a half game behind the Cubs. All of a sudden, or they basically cut up. Cubs are 57-51, Milwaukee's 58-53. So about that would be awesome if they could do that, and of course win the Central, because they had the lead most of the year, but then, of course, after the All-Star break is when the Cubs had caught fire there for a while.
Yeah, and my assumption is that the Cubs are.
I think they'll win the division.
They've gotten over the hangover. They're going to take the division by 5-6 games.
When it's all said and done, it's
but
likely.
Milwaukee's the only other team, I believe, that's over 500 that's not a division leader. The D-backs in Colorado are fighting.
Yeah.
And then the Dodgers the Brewers are 3 or 4 games away. But I would love to see the Diamondbacks host the Brewers for that wild card game.
That'd be cool.
As much as I'm a fan of the offensive juggernaut of Colorado. And some young pitching that came out of nowhere.
I know
this year in Colorado.
It would be nice if we see a team. Colorado, of course, been the underdog for a while, but to see this from Milwaukee, it's like it's still a few years away with the young guys, but able to just come through and do this. And I think it looks like 5.5 behind Colorado for that second wild card spot, so it's doable.
I looked it up. It's a 10% chance.
Tough,
according to MLB.com's got a great part of their site where you can see the season-long change of each team's playoff probability and division winning probability. But as we stand now, the Brewers are about 9-10% chance of making the playoffs, which sounds right if there's 5 or 6 games back. But
much closer to the Cubs in terms of catching a team, because they're only about a half game or so ahead. But even though the Cubs have lost 3, we see here looks like they're bouncing back.
Up 7-3 on Washington.
Yeah, and so that they'll do their thing at the end of the day. They're the champion. And a new pitcher, Wilson, is pitching now, who they got from Detroit. Struggling a little right now, but at the end of the day, he'll be a big help, I think, for them. And so, but it would be awesome. But still, with Colorado and the Diamondbacks, to see them in that wild card game will be a lot of fun. Division rivals and teams that have struggled for a number of years now getting there. So, in a way, sort of the underdogs beforehand, but now, they're just both having great seasons.
And it's great for the West Coast baseball.
Oh, yeah.
There's East Coast bias. There's Yankees, Red Sox. There's nothing but East Coast media attention given to baseball. And obviously it's the biggest sport in Boston.
Right.
But this is 3 teams in the division potentially going to be in the playoffs.
Oh,
In the West, in the NL West. So you want to have that turnover. Baseball is the sport that has the least amount of turnover and has the least amount of growth in terms of young fans as a whole. So, out in the West Coast here where the weather is beautiful, wish you were here, it's good to have it's not going to happen very often because only 4 or 5 teams are going to make the playoffs, but to have Colorado, to have Arizona, to have LA, all with some exposure, national TV, and just be in the conversation for the next 2 months on SportsCenter and everything like that.
Well, they still got to work out their local TV deal with Time Warner. Still so many fans can't even watch their team, and the commissioner won't really do anything about it, and it's just. It's amazing how that's happened because the Dodgers they have their own station, the Sportsnet there, and I think it's Time Warner, one of the big cable juggernauts there, won't show that channel or something like that. I forget the whole thing, but a lot of people locally in Southern California can't even watch them right now.
How long has that been?
Like 2 or 3 years.
Really?
And the league hasn't, the commissioner recently even said, nothing I could do. And the Dodgers people, obviously, some of the ownership is, we know about their billions, but so obviously they have a say with what they do. And then, like, Peter Gruber's involved, so he, producer of, like, the 89 Batman movie, stuff like that. And they can't, it's nothing. They still can't get that done, so it's unfortunate.
Why is that? I mean, it's missed revenue, right?
Well, yeah, it would sound like it. I don't know the whole thing behind it per se, so I don't totally want to misquote or mistalk on it. However, it definitely is an issue, and there's folks from out there that are saying, it's real frustrating because, like in Vince Scully's last year, they didn't really get the.
That's the first thing I thought of. That's why I asked you how long it's been going on. Because
and so that was a couple of years now. Because they started their own. The Lakers have Sportsnet there and everything, and so. But with the Dodgers, it's been just interesting with that. And here you have a historic season, and a lot of the fans out there that have. I think it's Time Warner, and if it's not, don't sue me. There's an issue with. So hopefully that would get worked out. But, for the West Coast, though, in general, it is good to see this. And with Colorado especially, because they were always so fun to watch, in the mid-late 90s, Larry Walker and Galarraga there, the power-hitting team. And
Dante Bichette.
Oh, Bichette, yeah. I mean, they were just fun to watch, and the pitching wasn't there, and so that's the thing.
Mike Hampton didn't really work out for him.
Not at all, and I think Danny Nagel, they even at one point got. Yep. Nothing worked, and now it is. But even the Jim Tracy days, maybe 5 years ago, like when they went on that historic run to end the year and ended up getting the wild card spot, it was fun and exciting. But, the last few years, it's just, for both them and the D-backs, been so tough. So it's good to see. And the Giants, it's good to see them. No, the thing is, even with the dislike for the Giants, I never want to see them struggle like this. It's fun to see them in contention. So come, July, August, September, you have those meaningful division games against them.
Uh-huh.
And they're always scary, obviously, when they do make the postseason. And they'll find a way this offseason to do some stuff. But it's nice to see things kind of changing a little bit this year.
We talk about parity when we talk about the NHL.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about it with the NFL as one of the biggest growth factors in the league of the past 25 years. But we don't see it in baseball. It is capitalism at its most filtered. So it is great to see teams, and that's why I hop on the Milwaukee bandwagon a little bit, because you want to see teams other than the top five, because the salary cap, because the salary distribution is so huge.
Oh, it is.
It's 3 times as much from the Dodgers down to Milwaukee, but also the top 3 teams are all above $200 million, and most other teams, the average is about $160 or so.
And then, like you said, with Milwaukee, and then a team like Tampa Bay and probably the Oakland A's,
Pittsburgh a couple years ago had a little bit of run. You don't want to see these teams floundering. How about the Royals?
Yeah.
I thought I was never going to see them make the playoffs in my lifetime.
And then look at that.
It's possible. That's great. That's great for the game. You don't want to have these cities where the teams are struggling for 30 years.
And, the Royals may make it this year. They're 3.5 behind Cleveland, because it seemed like with that core that had won the World Series and then the year before that getting to the World Series, a lot of them that are still there are free agents after this year, and then some struggles over the last few years, so it seemed like maybe the end of it. But all of a sudden, they might make it. And wild card-wise, they're in the American League. They are in that second wild card spot right now. Actually, they would be playing, if the season ended today, the Yankees in the play-in game. That would be something.
Total David and Goliath.
And then,
minus the fact that the Royals won a World Series.
Well, and speaking of more Goliath and David there, another David, we have the Tampa Bay Rays only a half game back of the Royals right now. And then, of course, 1.5 behind the Yankees. So they're very much in it. There is that parity in the American League in terms of a lot of teams are still
right around 500.
in it. But that's the thing, yeah. But a lot of them are under, per se, but still in it. I mean, you look down the line, Seattle, 1.5 games out of a wild card spot. The Angels, who are playing better, 4 wins in a row lately, they're only 2 games out. I mean, yeah, there's teams to overlap, but on the other hand, you just don't think of it. The Angels, Mike Trout's back, but all of a sudden it's like, hey, they may even make the playoffs because of that second wild card spot. And even just looking behind them, I mean, it just, you have Minnesota and Baltimore 3.5 out, and it's amazing.
Anybody could go on a 10-game win streak, and if you're at 500 or nearby at this point in the season,
yeah.
But then, at the same time, to contradict myself, when I discovered this a little earlier in the season, the MLB.com, it's very easily accessible on their standings tab. It'll show you the current probability of each team, and the division leaders are all at about 85 or 90% for the division. So ultimately, if you're a betting man like I would never endorse, you may want to put your money on the leaders, but psychologically, you've got 10 cities now who have a chance, and you never know. Remember, was it the 02 A's who won 20 games in a row? Yeah.
They
were 500 at that time. Make the playoffs.
Now you have a movie based on
anybody could do it. So it's great for teams to still be in contention.
And that's what's crazy in the American League. The A's and the White Sox are the only teams that you could say, okay, there's no chance. But even Toronto, who has the third worst record there in the AL, even though there'd be a lot of teams to overlap, they're only 5.5 back out of the second wild card spot. So if they went on a huge run, easier said than done, but
it's possible.
It's amazing.
It's possible.
But the National League, it's way different because really, other than the 2 teams in the wild card spot right now, the Diamondbacks in Colorado, Milwaukee,
that's it.
Or the Cubs, whoever doesn't win the Central, would be the only other team that maybe could still catch Colorado or the Diamondbacks.
Right.
Pittsburgh and St. Louis are 9.5 behind them. So it's crazy. Pittsburgh and St. Louis actually still have a chance in their division, per se, but not the wild card.
Statistically.
It would be,
Statistically.
It would be a really difficult situation. But
so you're down to 6 teams, essentially, fighting for 5 spots in the NL.
Yeah,
you're a little more gray area in the AL.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you have Washington Dodgers are getting it, all that stuff. But, we'll talk more baseball when we come back from the break. Broadcasting from Moon Saloon, 16554 North 83rd Avenue here in Peoria, part of the P83 district. Greg, Dave, Eric Story here. And we'll be back with more Breakthrough Sports on NBC Sports Radio AM 1060.
Your morning commute just became more informative. Pro Football Talk Live with Mike Florio. Weekday mornings on NBC Sports Radio AM 1060.
And welcome back to Breakthrough Sports right here on NBC Sports Radio AM 1060. Greg, Dave, Eric Story here, and we were talking a little baseball before the break here at Moon Saloon, 16554 North 83rd Avenue here in Peoria, part of the P83 district. And we'll move on right now. Expected to have the comedian, Angelo, whose last name...
Stouts.
Yeah, escapes me. I don't even have the spelling in front of me, so... But a great comedian, though. Terrific. And so we'll see if we have him in here.
We don't want to speak for him.
Yeah. No, I'm sure he's amazing. No, we'll have some fun with him if he's able to make it down here. If not, though, we have you covered the Hall of Fame game. Eric will talk a little bit about that we saw this past week. And then something that's exciting that I'll really jump into, the Mount Rushmore.
So, the Hall of Fame game, Arizona and Dallas a couple days ago, I just saw received higher ratings on television than every round of the NBA playoffs up until the finals.
It's amazing.
So I essentially, and I believe the headline called the Hall of Fame game a meaningless or a worthless game with second string players. Now they're great athletes. They're on an NFL training camp, but better TV ratings than the Eastern and Western Conference Finals.
It's understandable because we knew who was going to get it.
Well, sure, but I mean the NFL is a TV. It's the highest rated TV show.
Oh, it is
essentially in America, and so on that note, local connection being inducted this today, Kurt Warner.
Oh yeah, great for him. I mean, just amazing what. Nice. And we know, as I mentioned, I'm not a big football guy, but that year when they went to the Super Bowl, I mean, of course, my eyes are in on that. I had no idea who half the guys were, but Warner was amazing, and Fitzgerald in there.
Yes, meaningful icon for the city.
Oh, absolutely.
So it got me to thinking: who are the most meaningful? Who are the representatives, the professional sports? We won't even say players. We'll say the pro sports representatives of Phoenix. If we were going to go up on South Mountain and we were going to carve out a Mount Rushmore, a South Mountain Rushmore of Phoenix athletes, who are going to represent the city. To imagine that you're an outsider and you want to know who are the impactful. So I've got a short
Kurt
list.
Warner.
I've got a short list for you.
Okay, let me hear it.
That we might be able to go through in no particular order.
The Mount Rushmore of athletes. Okay.
The Mount Rushmore of Phoenix athletes. I think that some of them are obvious. My number one pick. Let's do it this way. Let's number one pick.
Randy Johnson.
Close. Randy Johnson is my number 2 pick, but let's talk about Randy Johnson.
Yeah.
He signed with the team immediately after they were an expansion franchise, or I believe, or a year later.
Yeah, about a year or two later.
He's probably the most recognizable athlete for a team on TV. He does ads. He's got a nickname.
He kills birds.
The big unit.
He had long hair.
Mm-hmm.
So he looked mean.
I would never want to go up against him.
He destroyed a pigeon.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say Randy Johnson.
Number 2.
Would be my number 2 pick. Number 1, Charles Barkley. Visible. Didn't play as many years here, but visible.
But
still,
definitely a pick.
Visible still. Still lives here.
Oh, he does?
Oh, yeah. Second career as a broadcaster. He's out there.
Yeah.
And I would say arguably the 93 Suns. I'm not a native. I've been here since 98.
Oh.
Arguably the 93 Suns are one of the most memorable pro sports
Alvin
teams.
Adams, center, that time, or
Alvin Adams.
Who in the world is that?
I don't know. Alvin and the
93. That was
93.
Yeah, when they went up against what?
Chicago.
Jordan and the Bulls.
I remember Game 7.
Yeah.
Game 6.
Was it Game 6
against Phoenix?
Boy, I was actually for Phoenix. I didn't live here, but wait, what year? 93. Not yet, but I was rooting for Phoenix.
I was rooting for my hometown Chicago
Of course,
Bulls.
you got to.
So on that note, Dan Marley also made my short list.
Yeah.
My short list of 10. So the second player from that team, also a presence. He's got bars and sports bars here in town.
He does, and does pretty well.
Coaches the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, that's right.
Division 1, right?
So I don't know if he makes my Final Four, but he's in the short list.
Huh.
So we've got Barkley and Marley from that Suns team. We've got Randy Johnson. We've also got Gonzo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had that great year. Many good years, but 56 home runs, I think?
Sure.
Yeah.
And arguably the most iconic play in the history of Phoenix sports.
Oh,
the World Series.
Up the middle that won the World Series, and the crazy pictures of him celebrating.
Yes.
Also, I believe
that was thrilling.
I want to hear an interesting thing with Gonzo. Mason and myself were at the Paradise Valley Mall. This was about a year ago. I don't know if the store is still there or not, but it's a sports memorabilia store. And we're in there, and there's a lot of bobbleheads. And as we're walking out, the glass there, you could still look in through the window, and you see some more bobbleheads. And one of them's Luis Gonzalez, who we're looking at. As soon as we turn around and start walking away, the real Luis Gonzalez is walking into the store. I'm like, what are the odds?
Did you flick his chin to see if a bobble?
I should have. No, but it was great timing. Very, very weird.
This is a Disney movie waiting to happen.
Yeah,
it's like when The Rock became the Tooth Fairy or whatever.
Yeah, that's
Kid
right.
gets the bobblehead of his favorite player. He touches it or something. At the same time, he touches the television, electrical current.
There he is.
He's got his favorite pro player as his nanny. Let's say for the weekend. So Gonzo and
Number 4.
Randy Johnson and also Kurt Schilling makes my short list.
Yeah, he had some great years there.
It's all based on that 2001 team.
No doubt.
Gonzo, Johnson, and Schilling, very visible. Schilling moved on and is more known for several other things. But
the bloody sock incident.
Well, even since then, he's sort of a crazy
and
guy.
losing all of his money.
Yeah.
And
I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
So that leaves us. We have another Suns player, obviously Steve Nash.
Mm-hmm. You got to put him on.
Traded to signed free agency. Right around 04, and for the next 7 or 8 years. I mean, MVP his first 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For the next 7 or 8 years, the Suns are legitimate title contenders.
No doubt.
Amazing what he did.
And back to football, Kurt Warner, I think.
It has to
when
be.
you're the quarterback of an NFL team that's
bringing the only time they were in the Super Bowl.
Should have won that game. It is painful. I can't imagine the
last second throw Pittsburgh to I forgot his name. Unbelievable catch,
Not a moment that Cardinals fans want to relive.
Fitzgerald with the go-ahead, he's on your pick.
He's my other.
Well, he's got to be on too. Yeah.
We're at 8 now. We're at Barkley and Marley and Nash, Randy Johnson, Schilling and Gonzo from the D-backs, Warner and Larry Fitzgerald from the Cardinals. Larry Fitzgerald been here his entire year.
Is that 10?
That's 8.
You got 2 more?
Got 2 more. Shane Doan?
Yeah.
Got to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got it because of within the hockey community, the longevity, one team, loyalty, dedication. He's got to be there.
Oh, yeah.
Even though a lot of people may not know him, but
they
within the community, hockey, they do.
20 years, right?
21.
21 seasons, same team, same franchise.
The same Winnipeg.
How many years in Phoenix? For
20 of the 21.
But everyone knows, Shane, the reason is even the fans, not just casual, but in general that may not be hockey fans, they know the name Shane Doan out here anyway. So I don't know what Dave was talking about.
Well, there's a lot that I come across that go, I think I've heard of them. But they're not hockey fans.
They're not hockey fans. To be gullible.
Yes. But anyway, go ahead.
And my last one is Pat Tillman.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I think that's a really good pick. Sad,
I am
very sad what happened.
Pat Tillman is a few years older than me. I also an ASU grad, and I have been a runner in the Pat's Run race every year since it started. I have a special connection to it. So a terrific event, amazing every year. I've done it every single year. I love it. Pat Tillman to me is on the short list of 10 athletes who could be on the Phoenix Hall of Fame. I'm going to give you 2 more wild cards. Number 1, Alice Cooper.
Oh, okay.
I would say yes.
In the golfing world, he is known, and he is also known for being a Phoenician. And finally, fictitious character, Arizona Cardinals wide receiver from Jerry Maguire, Rod Tidwell.
Oh, I agree.
Oh, I would totally.
Those are my top 10, and then my 2 wild cards.
I love that. We're going to have to pursue that again.
So we'll whittle it down.
I like
later,
that. No, that's a very clever thing that you did. I like that a lot.
Rod Tidwell, highly visible. That's a Tom Cruise movie.
I just saw that movie again. I love that movie. Boy,
everybody knows the Cardinals after that.
Show me the money.
Yes.
You had me at hello. Okay, I know those lines. Okay. So, but now we have a very special guest over there across the room, approaching us.
A comedian.
looks like he's flirting.
A real comedian, a professional
real comedian.
Here
we go. Hey, how are you?
Hey, there he is.
I'm Dave. Eric.
How you doing, Eric?
Greg.
Welcome.
I'm Greg.
You know
nice
Nick.
to meet you. There we go.
And joining us right now from Rick Bronson's House of Comedy. Hey, you got to put your mic. It's mobile.
Oh, here we
there
are.
We
hey,
go.
guys. How's it going?
Now, I know how to pronounce your first name.
I know.
Angelo.
And the last name's easy. Come on, say it.
Okay, I'm going to say Suachis.
Sarukas.
Salukas?
Sarukas.
Sarukas?
It's like a silent T and a hard C. Sarukas. It's
Sarukas.
Irish.
No.
It's Irish.
Sarukas.
It's Greek.
Angelo Sarukas.
Angelo Sarukas.
You know, and we have something in common.
Tell me.
You know, you got married on my birthday, October 10th.
October 10, 2010.
How was that possible? How do you know it was my birthday?
You know what I say to my wife? First of all, we knew it was your birthday. That's why we did it in your honor.
Thank you.
Second of all, I do this joke where I say we got married on 10-10-10 because she's a 10.
Oh, that's lovely.
Joke.
Yeah,
That's not a joke.
Oh, it's great. My wife loves it. She
That's
goes,
reality.
you can, now I can make any jokes about her.
That's
and
good.
She's like,
well, 10, 10,
and then
10.
all her friends go, he said you're a 10.
A 10-10-10 is
She
30.
is. I married up.
Yeah.
Smart man.
You always have to, right?
Does anybody tell you look like David, Jerry Garcia? Did you ever get that?
No, I get Ron Jeremy a lot.
I know Ron Jeremy.
You do?
He comes to shows in L.A.
Can I be his stunt double?
He's hilarious, man.
He is funny.
He's a shitty comic.
Oh.
Are we allowed to say?
Yeah. No.
Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Beep that out.
Beep.
Okay.
He's
Shoddy.
a crappy
He's a
comic.
shoddy.
He's a
Shoddy.
comic.
Shoddy.
But
But he's a funny guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't have to be a comic. He has enough other talents that can.
Oh yeah. There's no doubt. Now, other people
He's
said,
a terrific painter. No one knows that.
He doesn't know that.
painter?
And he has a turtle named Cherry. Don't ask me
yeah,
why.
we're not going to ask you why. No, we leave that alone. But anyway, so Sarukas.
Yeah, Sarukas.
Sarukas.
It's close. It's good.
Okay, it's close enough.
Angelo Sarukas.
Wow.
Let's talk.
Go ahead.
I was going to say we should talk about your last name for 20 minutes.
For
but
20
it was sarcasm. I apologize.
And you know, as a comic, when I moved to Hollywood, they were like, you should change your name. But I didn't want to change it because a lot of Polish or Greek, with a lot of Lithuanians, they changed their names. And an agent said to me, look, because you're a comic, your name's funny, Sarukas. Changing it, you're trying to sound like everybody else. He goes, you're not everybody else.
Oh, I think you should keep it.
Keep it. And I've got material about how they screw up my name, how my name is so complicated. My parents anglicized their names. So, like, for me, it's like, Evangelos Petros Tsarukas.
I'm watching that now.
Right. And my parents' names are Peter and Debbie.
Oh.
So, like, what the hell's wrong with them?
Oh.
Name our kids like diseases, but we'll assimilate into American society.
I think it's cool.
Did their comedy careers take a hit because they anglicized their names?
Took a big hit. But they're in the food business, It's like that's what they were doing.
Sarukas.
Sarukas.
I love it. I can even say it. I'm surprised.
Once people say it,
you got it.
Then they got it. They're just like, oh, okay. And then just like a lot of vowels, a lot of consonants.
So tell us a little bit. First of all, you're at Rick Bronson's House of Comedy this weekend.
Fantastic.
7 and 9:30 today?
7 and 9:30 tonight and 7 o'clock tomorrow
So
night.
you definitely got to get out and see it. Rick Bronson.
Come and see it. It's
House
at
of
High
Comedy.
Street and then North Phoenix.
Yeah, it's a
New
great place.
area. It's an awesome club. Not because I'm playing there this week, but in terms of clubs, very high-tech screens. I don't know if you guys have been there.
And Rick's a great guy.
Rick's a fantastic. Him and Tammy are fantastic.
Really good
He's a
people.
crappy golfer, but he's a great guy.
But he's a good hockey guy. Though.
He's not here to defend himself.
No,
He's
I
insulting
know.
his golf game.
I know. Now you guys here. I'm going to ask you something here because there's something in Phoenix that you got the Cardinals, and you got the Diamondbacks, and the Suns. But whenever I talk to people, I go, "Hey, what about the Coyotes?" And they go, "Who?"
Oh no!
See, that proves my point.
And they never. And I'm originally from Canada.
Oh yeah, Montreal, right?
Montreal.
Yeah.
And Game 5, when the Oilers were playing the Ducks, because my brother-in-law's a Ducks fan. The game where they blew the 3-0 lead.
Man, that's brutal.
Yeah, and Rick Bronson was there with his son Noah, and we were there, and it was so funny because the Coyotes had a run a couple of years ago, and I think Shane Doan has gotten traded now, or they're
no, they didn't sign him. They
didn't sign him. He's been here a long time.
Expired
21 years.
And you guys had Kababulin was your goalie. You had a lot of great players here.
Oh yeah.
But I see to me, Arizona Coyotes, right? They changed the name.
They did.
Correct.
And I think Arizona Coyotes were what the Montreal Expos were in Major League Baseball. They were a great farm team for all the other teams.
Right.
So you guys would get a lot of great players in Arizona, and then, and you guys got a new arena, and there's a lot of explant Chicago, Canada.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of issues with the Coyotes. Honestly, they don't know where they're going to play after next season because their contract.
There's talk about going to Quebec City.
Oh, is that a newest rumor?
That was going on since last year. They built a new arena in Quebec City. The problem with Canada, and Canada's a nice country.
Yeah.
And contrary to what America thinks about free health care, it's not free.
It's not.
You're paying 54% income tax.
Oh.
So what they do in Canada, they say, it's universal health care, but we're going to dig you 24% more tax.
Wow.
That'll fly here, I think, in the States. 54% tax. Yeah, nobody will raise an eyebrow to that.
But you know what's ironic? The Coyotes were from the Winnipeg Jets.
That's right.
That's right. They came here. Then the original Quebec Nordique, that's when Eric Lindros, when they made that switch with Philadelphia to Colorado, and with Patrick Roy, they won 2 cups. Mm-hmm. And the people in Quebec never forgot it. They felt they got ripped off from those 2 cups.
That's right.
Joe Sakic, Matt Sundin went to Toronto.
Yeah.
And then what happened? Eric Lindros, because of his refusal to hang out with French Canadians, says, I'm not going there.
He went to Philly.
He lost 2 cups as a result of it.
Oh, man.
Because the same team. So now I think if the Coyotes, it's funny, left Winnipeg, come to Phoenix, and they'll probably go back to Canada.
If they,
I hope not, because I think
Well, if they ever did move, I still think they might work it out. But if they did, I think it'd be Portland. Over here in Oregon.
Portland, Oregon?
Yeah, because I think they want to keep on the West Coast.
Yeah.
And then if Quebec ever gets a team again, like you said with the arena, I think that's what it would be.
I think that's what I've heard too.
Well, I think Bettman wants to keep it here because think about it. You got the new arena, you got the one in Vegas now, the Golden Knights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And my adopted team now is the LA Kings, which
give me knuckles. We love the Kings.
We love the Kings. Love the Kings.
I'm a Blackhawks fan,
but those games with the Blackhawks were fantastic.
Read my shirt.
Yeah.
I see it there. It's all about the Kings. Yeah, and I mean,
that is cool.
Drew Doughty comes to the Comedy Magic Club, and Brad Williams and Jeff Carter.
Oh, really?
We do the comedy clubs in Hermosa Beach.
So you know all of them?
So, most of the guys, yeah.
That is cool.
But Luc Robitaille,
who's
the president of the Kings.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was on a flight with him to Montreal. And if you ever want to get Luc going, because he was from Montreal, he played for the Hull Olympic in the major junior Quebec League.
254th pick in the draft.
In the draft, he's a Hall of Famer.
Oh wait, was he higher than? No, that was Dave Taylor.
No, because he became a 500 goal scorer.
Yeah.
But the funny thing about Luc Robitaille, if you want to get him going, say, Luke, why didn't you ever play for the Canadians? And he goes nuts. He goes, they had every chance to draft me there.
Yeah, they did.
Because for some reason, when you come from French Canada, the dream is, even for myself, a guy from Montreal, I played hockey, but my dream was, if I ever wanted to play for one team, it would be the Montreal Canadiens.
Sure.
So I think it's funny how he had a great career. I think he won a cup in Detroit. I think he may have won one in Pittsburgh. Robitaille went to the Red Wings and the Penguins.
Right? Uh-huh.
No? Just in Detroit.
Just in Detroit.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the Kings had 2, and I mean that whole thing. You had the Blackhawks, phenomenal.
Oh yeah,
Taze and Sharp and all those guys, and Dave Bullock. I was working with Vince Vaughn.
Oh, you were
on Wild West Comedy Tour, and Vince is a hockey fanatic.
Oh yeah, he loves his hockey.
Him and his sister,
and Mike Myers,
for the Leafs.
Yeah.
They finally got a team going there now.
Oh,
and I hate the Leafs. They got a great team.
They're going to be a team to reckon with. No doubt.
But I got to tell you a funny story. We were shooting an episode of Sullivan and Son on TBS with Steve Byrne, and he's a Pittsburgh fan. So there's a whole sub-hockey culture in L.A. So the Blackhawks had a bad loss the night before, and we're at Warner Brothers, and I'm playing the cab driver who's driving them to the new bar that they're going to get. So they got all these lights and stuff set up, and here comes Vince. He's about 6'6",
big,
and he walks up, and they're like, "We're rolling sound." Hold on, I got a technical. So he sticks his head in the cab like we're in the studio, and he goes, "Brother," he goes, "we need goaltending. We're getting killed." Because nobody else in LA will talk about hockey, so he knows I'm the only guy who's got the knowledge. So he's trying to vent, and he's like, "Brother, we got to get a goaltender. I mean, we're not going to run the cup." They ended up winning the cup that year.
Yeah,
but it was so funny how they were all going. I think it was
Niemi, the first one.
Was it? What was not Emery?
Emery was the backup to Crawford.
Right. Remember Crawford got a little injured for a bit?
Yeah.
They pulled him out for about 6 games. And then they had put in, I think it was Emery.
No, Darling.
Darling.
No, he played great.
2015.
But
they pulled him. He essentially brought the Hawks back in that series. And then Crawford.
And I think that's what he was talking about, that thing. And that was the whole. But it's so funny, like you're shooting a scene for a sitcom. He was, hold on, 2 minutes, and he's just going off on it, which I thought was hilarious.
That's what you do when you're in charge, too, right?
That's right, yeah. You're like,
you can stop production to vent about your hockey team.
I mean, that's when you know you're the executive producer and you're Vince Vaughn. Talk about the
you're we got to get you on the show again with talking some hockey.
I love hockey.
Before you go, I'll get your number.
Yeah, we'll get your number. I love to talk about hockey.
It's great.
And I hope the fans in Phoenix really do support the Coyotes. It's a great game, and I understand. I like the Cardinals. I think you guys got burnt last year when the quarterback got injured. Palmer? Yeah. Palmer, right? Yeah, he got injured.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you've had a great tradition with the Phoenix Suns. I mean, going back to the days.
They've struggled for a while.
They've struggled. Yeah. And the Diamondbacks are good.
They're good this year.
And But you know what's surprising me is my wife's a Dodgers fan.
Oh, cool.
I'm not a baseball fan. If I can't sleep, I watch baseball. And then I go to bed.
That's a good point.
But it's true. But I know it's America's pastime.
Right.
And we love baseball.
Oh, yeah.
But they talk too much, don't you find?
It's.
You ever see you watch a Diamondbacks game coming to bat, Rolando Ramirez. Rolando was born in Monterrey, Mexico, pitching a strike. And then they start talking about it. He loves beef burritos at Chipotle.
Then he
and his daughter's in ballerina hitting a foul. And if you're ever thinking of speaking of burritos, they just have this whole. They have this whole conversation.
Good. A lot of dead air in a baseball game.
There's a lot of dead air, and I always love even that guy from the Padres. He's coming up the bat right now, and there's always some kind of name, like Gustavo Malandra, and they always like announce the names Gustavo Malandra coming to bat. Gustavo is a refugee from Cuba, pitching a strike, and then his brother is actually a great dancer. We saw him at this Broadway musical. Another hit. Oh, it's up in the second field now. Oh, and then they go right back to it again.
Like the main attraction is there.
And then one thing leads to another.
That is hysterical. Wow, we only have like a minute or two left. But we want to talk about tonight.
Yes.
You were there last night, too,
Last night was great. We had sold-out shows last night.
Excellent.
So that was great.
You're rocking and rolling.
Yeah, I love coming to Phoenix. Fans are fantastic here. And look, this is my tagline. I go, get out of the heat and come in for some cool laughs.
So, that is good. I like that.
A marketing genius right now.
See that, right? Should have been, right?
Cool laughs.
I could tell you're hysterical. I mean, just the bit you did with baseball is funny as
But I like the fact you guys I wanted to talk about hockey and you're right on it.
Yeah, well,
so
you guys called Real Hockey Talk.
So it's a hockey show.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a hockey show.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was just a general show. So all right,
we're
sweet.
Most of it's hockey.
I love to come back on your show and talk hockey. I get in arguments all the time.
Are you here in Phoenix a lot?
I come back and forth. I'll let you guys know when I'm back in town.
Yeah,
okay, but maybe we have you call in sometime.
I can call in too if you want.
Yeah, I think
from LA.
Cool.
Disgruntled Canadians fan.
This is cool.
Because I lived in Ottawa for years.
Oh, you did?
I just want to shout out to my friends in Ottawa. They had, I thought, the best run this year.
Oh, yeah.
The Senators.
They did.
A mediocre team. Mm-hmm. They took Pittsburgh to 7 games double overtime.
Incredible.
The Penguins and Nashville would have got crushed by the Senators this year.
Wow.
I think they would have. Because Nashville fell apart. I thought I thought they were good, with Fisher and everybody else. But the reality is the Senators took them to 7 double overtime.
Yeah.
I know we got to go.
Wow. Well, it's been an honor and pleasure, Angelo Sorokas.
Yes.
I did it. Can you believe it?
That's the first time he's ever done that.
I have never done that.
You did it. You're awesome.
Rick Bronson's House of Comedy. Get there tonight.
Yes.
Tomorrow, 7 tonight. Yes. 9:30 tonight. 7
tomorrow night. Sunday night.
Definitely get there. You are hysterical.
Thanks a lot, guys. Great having you on your show.
Very cool. All right. Okay. So sign us out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this has been a lot of fun. Of course, Moon Saloon, 16554 North 83rd Avenue, here in Peoria, the P83 district. And this was always a great time, as usual. Always great hockey talk. We did mix a little baseball into this, and as we said, never count out the Dodgers. Now it's tied. So after we were saying, and so some fun stuff. Thank you so much, our producer crew. And this is Greg, Dave, Eric Story.
Thanks again for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Angelo.
And Angelo. Yeah, and
Sarukas.
say his last name.
Yes.
Good.
I'm going to be saying that every time. Sarukas. That's like salute.
Go see him tonight. Go see Angelo tonight.
And we'll see everyone next week at Cactus Jack's Westgate, same time, noon. Everyone have a good rest of the weekend. This is NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060.